I'm Lindsay, and this is Knowledge Uprising. And tonight we will be giving another impeccable panel with the panelists. Panelists, how y'all doing out there?
What's happening? What's happening, everybody?
Yo, much peace, much love, family.
What's going on, y'all? What's up?
All right, I'm Lindsay, and this is Knowledge Uprising. And tonight we'll be letting Brother Jalahi start off the panel. How you doing out there, brother?
Man, I'm wonderful, man. How the brothers doing on the panel?
Shit, I'm straight. I'm good.
Very excited, man. Very happy to be here, man. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you. Shout out to the HOTC, man.
Yeah,
Um,
HOTC, stand up.
you feel me?
Definitely, definitely.
Much love, man. Much love to all the truth seekers. Basically, how I want to kick it off is,
I'm
you
gonna
know,
put the link in the chat for people that want to know what channel this is too.
okay. I want to, get the brothers' opinion on just the black community overall in general having this victim mindset of we were just slaves, you know white supremacy is on our neck, the white man got his foot on our neck, that's the only people we should hate. I want to get a take on, is white supremacy the biggest threat to the black community? So that's one question I have, and I want to talk about how we as a community, or we as a entire universe, the world, has to deal with self-development. Again, I'm Jalahi, and I founded or created the show Creative Knowledge. You guys want to subscribe to me on YouTube, and what I like to do over there is basically give advice and depict my journey along this big experience of life, you feel me? So basically, what I've been learning is that the Afro community has a mental health issue that we are not diagnosed with. Like, I think we were all born with this shit, especially relating back to our parents having, cognitive dissonance, not wanting to learn new things, shit like that. So, again, what do you think? What do you brothers think the problem is? Like, what mental issues do we have?
Well, I say this. Uh, Pretty much, I don't think the black community's main issue is white supremacy. I think our main issue, for the most part, is ourselves. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because the way I see it is us as black people as a whole, we've been blaming white people for everything that's been going on with us, when really it's us who's pretty much keeping ourselves down. And I'm not blaming us for everything, because I know white supremacy is a major factor for why we act the way we act. You feel me? But we gotta check ourselves before we check anybody else outside of our community. You understand me?
What
But
what what
So
see,
form of cognitive dissonance do you think the black community has?
I feel we have a syndrome of not wanting to learn new things. Like when black people are introduced to new concepts that doesn't have the word money in the title, we basically would throw that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like we stuck in survival mode, so we don't have enough time to think about living, think about the things that actually matter. Like, our biggest concern should be health. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna be
Well,
a
I'm a
smart?
little confused because you said cognitive dissonance. That means holding two contrary positions at the same time. So, are you saying that we kind of want to have a
Let the
position?
brother express himself, man.
No, I mean,
Yes.
I understand what he's saying. Maybe I mispronounced. I mean, like, use the wrong term, but you know what I mean. Like, I think we just have a mental issue to where we do not choose. I mean, we choose to ignore the truth in certain situations. You know what I'm saying? Like, we choose to take responsibility for our problems and say, "Hey, I was wrong. This is how I can change it." You know what I'm saying? Like, black people love being fucked up, and that's when they be like, "Man, I want to change my life now." You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I was wondering. Is your position is that the black community kind of want to hold on to older ways while claiming to move forward in a new way of doing things, but want to stick to kind of old traditional means?
Yes,
That's the
I could
cognitive
agree with that.
dissonance we're speaking of. Okay.
So I would just say, like, what I really been learning is how we can just basically learn from nature, the simple things of life.
That's right, brother. Preach.
You feel me? Like everything in nature comes with a duality, so we have to know that our bodies has some type of reactionary effect to that. We have a spirit body and a physical body. I think way back then, I think we left the spiritual world like totally alone, and now we are so consumed with an avaricious mindset of, greed.
I have no idea what you mean when you're saying spiritual.
Well, let him elaborate a little bit. Elaborate a little bit, brother Jalahi. What you mean by spiritual?
Spiritual meaning connection with the source. Like whatever you want to call it, if you want to call it God, Jesus, whatever you think it is, I have no problem with what anybody wants to call it. But just that connection of knowing that this universe is intelligent, and what we choose to do, everything is a choice, everything is a decision. And I learned that we don't live with the decisions, we live with the consequences. So in the spirit world, we chose to do the right thing, or what people would think be what people would think is the righteous thing. Whatever you think is righteous is right to you in your universe. You know what I'm saying?
Not really, because when you say you have a connection to source, but you don't know what you call it, how would you know you have a connection to it then?
Mm-hmm.
How would you know you do not have a connection with it?
Well, if you don't know what the source is, then how do you confirm you have a connection to it?
But learning yourself, you will learn the source. You know what I'm saying? Because the source is in you still.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like once you question,
I don't know the source that you speak of. That's why I'm understanding. I can't say I'm connected to any source because I don't know of any source. So how does that work?
Well, have you ever heard that term that all is mental and you are all? And once you realize that, the things you take sacred is really.
I think everybody knows the source, but everybody calls it a different name. But everybody knows
exactly. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Once again, I still don't know what you mean.
Oh, Gary, you trying to be a tough one tonight on the panel, ain't you?
Well, I mean,
no. Okay.
So far,
So
you're
what
kind
is
of
the source
using.
to you? Elaborate. What is the source to you, then, brother?
What do you mean?
Elaborate. What does it
Right now
mean to be spiritual to you?
I
Because
don't know
I'm
what the word
very intrigued by you, brother. Because
I don't know what the word spiritual means, so I couldn't tell you.
You don't know what the word spiritual means.
No,
Okay.
I've heard the term used. I've heard the term used multiple times.
Interesting. He don't know what the word spiritual means.
Come on, Gary. Stop playing, man.
Hold on a second. Usually, what somebody does when you say the word spiritual, they'll say something like they mean.
So, what's your religious beliefs, man?
Well, I'm a deist.
Okay, and elaborate a little bit out there for the folks that's tuning in and don't know what that is.
Okay, well, deism is kind of tied to theism, except we don't actually give attributes to any kind of God. We say that it's that God is kind of unknown, that man hasn't had any connection or has a connection to God. We have beliefs of what a God is, but we don't actually know.
So let me dive in right there. So like you said, you depict the God as unknown. Now I can agree with you because everything is unknown until you figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know your true purpose until you figure it out. That's the point of being a gift here. The gift is already given to you. All the knowledge in the world is already given to us. It's just meant for us here on our journey of life to figure it out. You feel me? So when I say the source, that's what you're trying to do. You're just building a trail back to the source. That's why when they say trail, they mean trial. Like life is just a trial of
right, but you do understand as a deist, I don't think you have connection to any source. That's why I don't know what you mean.
Why wouldn't you?
Because you don't have any contact to what you would call a source. So how could you?
How do you explain?
So you cannot
contact?
have a connection without a contact?
But what type of contact?
The energy you're experiencing, is that not the source?
What energy? What are you talking about?
We could not have a connection with each other without contact?
Correct. How can you have a connection with something that you're not in contact with?
Are we not connected?
Yeah, we're connected. We all live on the same planet. But you're talking about something.
Us right here not actually being,
We're still connected, though. We can speak of things.
No, we're not connected. We are tangible. There's no physical presence right now.
We're still connected. We can speak of things that are that we both.
But God is not.
Well, once again, can you speak to that?
Yeah, I kick it with him every day. I ain't gonna lie.
Right, doesn't necessarily mean he's gonna speak back.
Well, excellent. If you can speak to it, then you can easily tell me what the source is. But you just told me you couldn't.
Because that's like saying again, I can't tell you all the knowledge of the universe. That's why it's the source, because it's the everything.
It's everything,
yeah. See, that's some cognitive dissonance to say I'm connected to the source, but we don't really know what the source is. You got two different positions there. That's cognitive dissonance there. You can't say you know something,
but you are having it yourself.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I am
you are very confused, brother.
Okay, really? Because now check this out. You say
I don't think it's confused. I think he's just closing. Open up. You got to open up a little bit more, brother. You kind of closing out anything.
It's like he don't want to accept it.
No, I'm available for the. I'm available.
I mean, I don't know what.
You haven't actually given it.
But go ahead, let the young brother break it down. That's what he's doing. Go ahead, brother.
Okay,
I apologize.
Nah, you good, brother. So check it out. You say we don't have a connection, but do you know that our body is made up of the ether that we call, space, or what we call the sky, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, it's because we're a connection. We connected with the universe. We're an extension of the universe. So I get what you're saying. Definitely.
Yeah. I don't believe in an ether. So.
Oh wow.
Oh damn. All right.
So okay, what do you believe in?
The globe.
In regards to what?
Earth? What about water?
What do you just believe in regards to religion, life, just culture? What are your beliefs? I would like you to express to the audience yourself. Who is Gary?
Yeah. Once again, I've already explained that my religious position is I'm a deist. I believe in science, reason, and evidence, of course. So.
Tell us a little more, brother.
That didn't really explain nothing.
Yeah, that didn't really explain nothing about who you are. Tell us about Gary.
Well, what else would you like to know? I mean, I'm not understanding. Whatever position you need me to explain that's my position, I can tell you. But right now, and I make sure that I do use I use proper reasoning, and I believe.
Okay. Well, explain your disposition on reality, brother.
On reality, you haven't demonstrated its reality. I understand that you want to claim
it's reality. You are experiencing reality right now by talking on your phone or looking at this or connecting with us, brother.
Well, when you say reality,
express your sentiments on reality. You can't do that.
When you say reality, what do you mean? I want to make sure.
Reality is what you're doing right now.
That's not
questioning me, putting a thought in your head to come back at me with a demerit, brother.
No, I'm asking you to.
Yeah, no. I asked you a question, and then you hit me with a question right back. Yeah, okay. Could somebody else do it? Could somebody else explain reality to me right now?
No, I need to know what you mean when you say reality. Not
reality, bro. Your experience in life, the things you are perceiving right now.
Reality is what really goes on, regardless whether or not you believe it or not. That's reality.
Yes. Explain your reality. You act like you confused or something. Don't do that, man.
Yeah,
you got so much. You got so much to say, but then I ask you a question. You act like it's so hard to answer, brother.
Well, because I'm asking.
Hey, somebody go ahead and take the mic.
He keeps cutting me off before I talk. You asked me about reality. I asked you to explain what reality is, and you give a vague description of what you mean to be reality.
What up, Cautious? It's not vague, man. You're experiencing reality right now. Talking through that mic.
Vague. That could be anything.
That's not vague, brother. He's saying what we're actually doing. That's an action.
No, that is vague.
My point exactly.
I got a feeling Gary don't care if it don't work on a globe model. He don't fuck with it.
Yeah, I got a question.
I don't know. I just feel that He's just trying to be belligerent on purpose, man. Come on, man. I just asked you about reality.
I'm
actually trying to get you to state your term. To me, reality means what is the case.
Oh, see, so now you want to tell me what reality is. You had to beat around.
No, I'm telling you what it means.
When I asked you to express what reality was,
I'm telling you what it means to me.
Go ahead.
What it means to you. Right, I can't define reality for you. Bro. I can redefine reality.
I didn't ask you to define it for me. I asked you to define it for yourself.
I asked you to define it to me. What you mean?
And I did it. What? This is reality right now.
And it was your reality
on this motherfucking screen is reality, brother.
Yeah, and what you said was vague. I apologize
for the execrating to the audience.
Do you understand? What you told me was vague. That doesn't give me.
It wasn't vague, man. You know what reality is, man. How old are you?
No, I know what reality is.
I asked you what was
I asked you what reality. I asked you
because right now you contradict everything somebody says. You has a question off everything.
Hold on, listen.
So tell us who Gary is. Who are you?
Listen,
I'm just trying to.
Yeah, I know you keep interrupting me and not letting me speak. You keep interrupting me and not letting me speak.
Am I sounding crazy right now?
Well, you won't.
Hey, Knowledge, hear him out. Knowledge, hear him out. Knowledge.
I'm trying to speak, and he won't speak.
You got a question? Go ahead, Gary. Speak.
Now, first of all, I was trying to define terms. I want you to know what I mean when I say something, and I needed to know what you meant when you said something. So there's no confusion, because that's what you left it up to, where I can be confused. Where you can say something, and it means something to me, but it means something totally different to you. So I'm trying to define the term so that we're not talking past each other. But you like talking past each other because it causes confusion. I don't want confusion. That's why I said, what does reality mean to you? And you gave me a vague description. I'm unable to. Hold on. You gave a vague.
There's no vague, man. You know what reality is. There's no vague reality.
Listen. You gave a vague description, so I
still don't know what you know what reality is, brother.
So I still don't know what you mean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my definition. Hopefully that'll help bridge the gap. Now, when I say reality,
I simply ask you a question.
Yeah, I know, and I tried to get the term so we don't talk past each other.
Try to get the term, man. What does the word mean? You don't heard the word before. This is not your first time hearing that word.
Just because you say the word doesn't mean you mean the same thing that I do.
All right, brother. It's okay. Go ahead. What is reality to you? Go ahead.
Now, reality to me means what is the case, whatever that may be. Say the case is, for instance, that we are living on a flat plane. That's the case, right? That's reality to me. Something that's tangible that can be pointed to. Your definition of reality is what we're doing right now, which could be anything. That's up for interpretation. I'm asking you for something that's more concrete, more form, more objective.
So listen. All right, so listen. Let me say something real quick. What you said was just vague as well too, and that can be my opinion. All right, but understand, brother. I think you believe in you said that you had believed in that we're in the Matrix, correct? So your reality.
I didn't say nothing about no Matrix.
See, I can elaborate with that Matrix shit because I'm deep into that. But this
Gary, it's okay.
I don't know, man.
And my brother that was talking at first, the young brother, I would like for him to continue. But I mean, just basically, reality is whatever the case is. What's the case? That's very vague, brother. You get what I'm saying?
No, actually. Once again, I even gave an example. Say the case is that you're sitting down.
Well, the reason I asked
he gave us an example too, though, as well, brother.
At the end of the day, I asked you that was because every time Brother July he was building on something, you had to bounce him back with a question like, So I want you to express your sentiments then, since you got so much you want to say. And then I asked you a simple question: what is reality? You want to have me running in circles and hit me with the merits with questions back.
No, I asked you to define the term so we don't. So the term
I did. In reality,
and I told you it was vague. And then I told you.
I know, brother. And then you did the same thing that he did.
Hey, Gary, you just playing semantics right now with words, bro.
I don't think you understand what semantics is.
Yeah, I do, man. Because he asking. Hold on. Hey, can I speak real quick, bro?
Go ahead, brother.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
but the thing is this, Gary. He asking you questions that you can easily answer, but instead of just answering, you want to be difficult and respond with a question. Like we all have a perception. Hold on, Gary. Hold on. Whoa. You get. Hold on, man. Hold on. Gary, chill, bro. Gary, chill. Gary, because I just sat back and listened, bro.
How about we all fall back and let the young brother get back on him?
Hey, look, man. The thing is this right here. Everything that he asks you what's your belief on, we all have a perception of that. So he not asking you what's the general perception of that. He asking you what you believe about that. But instead, you want to keep throwing it back with other questions. That's word playing.
No, that's what I asked him. I said, just so we're clear, to make sure we're talking about the same thing. What do you mean when you say this word? That's what you do. Anytime you're talking to someone, you want to make sure that the term that they're using matches your term. If not, you're talking past each other.
All right, but this is what he asked.
Then you say vague, but it was nothing more important than what he just said, because this is real time in real life. How is that not reality, brother?
Look, everybody got their own perception of reality, Gary. Reality is pretty much on your outlook on this life. So, do everybody agree with that general statement?
Hell yeah, because I mean, shit.
Okay, so Gary, what is your perception of? So, what's your perception of reality?
See my point exactly, Gary. You know
what? Because your outlook on life
this is stupid. What the young brother was talking about was building, man. Get back to that, man, because we've been talking about 5 minutes of reality, man. Fuck that, man. Reality is let the young brother talk.
Brother July, go ahead. And Real Talk 87, you come in after him.
All right, so you kind of made our point, though, brothers. Like, this is what I mean about talking about new things. We got to be open more to anybody's reality.
Yes.
Gary, if I say a word that doesn't match with your definition, just combine it with your definition or put it to the side, whatever, and be like, oh, okay, that's what he meant, but I mean a totally different thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool, though. Like I was saying, though, bro, I feel like us as a community in the universe, we don't use our spiritual side. We don't use our connected side. But when I said that, you said, what is spirituality? Now, I want to ask you this. Don't you use the natural universal laws to, manifest what you desire? Like I know you write down goals. I know you write down, structured plans of what you're trying to achieve, whether it's on a daily basis, yearly basis, or a monthly basis. Now, that is using the source to bring about or change your reality. Everything in existence goes together. So when I say that you're connected to the source, you're using water to create something in your house. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, you're right, brother. Everything is the source, man. The trees, the grass, because the source made it.
So y'all believe in a little bit of pantheism.
Actually, no, I believe we got one source, but the source made everything. So everything in the universe is an extension of the source.
That's right.
That's my belief.
Right. That's pantheism. So y'all believe in pantheism.
You can call it what you want to call it.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's what y'all are describing. That's what it is.
No, that is your assumption of what they believe in. They never.
Hold on, they said it twice. Now the common
play on words.
Hold on. The common objection to pantheism is that if God is everything, then God would be nothing. Or in your words, if the source is everything, the source would be nothing, because the source wouldn't have its own separate identity from anything else.
Okay.
Facts. Just because it's separate don't mean it's nothing.
That's right. Elaborate a little bit more about that, Trigger.
Like shit, if you create an ecosystem, today, and that motherfucking ecosystem sustain itself for your whole entire lifetime, and when you old as fuck, you old as gray, and you look in that motherfucker, you see them people walk up inside that ecosystem you created, they not right if they say that you're nothing, because you are a creator. They just not aware of your actual position in their world. They're not aware of your actual location, what you look like. They might not be aware of that, but they know based off of what you left behind for them to sustain themselves that it was created. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah, there's a little difference here because you're talking about the ecosystem separate from you. You're the creator and you've created an ecosystem. But the way you were talking about the source is not just the source just created the ecosystem, but he is also the ecosystem.
That's right? Not my example. Hope you're not thinking that.
Okay. Well, I thought y'all said everything is source, right?
Yeah, everything is extension. So if you paint a painting, if you paint a picture, and that picture goes down in history as one of the nicest pictures anybody's ever fucking seen, that's an extension of you, but that's not actually you.
Right.
That's an extension of you. That's
not pantheism. Pantheism is that
you're the only one talking about pantheism, brother.
That's what you described. I'm just giving you the formal name for it.
We said like 5-10 words, and you're saying we're describing the whole religion or whatever.
Real talk 87, man. Go ahead, brother, and speak.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I just feel that I don't think everything is the source, but it's kind of like, okay, you make a baby, you know what I'm saying? That baby is a part of you. That baby is an extension of you, but the baby is not you, it's its own identity.
Right.
And once that baby gets older, he makes another baby. That baby is also an extension of you, but the baby is not you. So we are all an extension of the source, but we are not the source. You understand that?
Right.
Yeah, that's all he's trying to say.
Yeah,
right, we are. So y'all are not advocating for pantheism then.
Bro, we don't even know what that means, bro.
But listen, I think the creator is definitely the creator or the source is definitely connected to anything natural. Nothing man-made, like nothing man.
Hey, but what we gotta also understand,
like grass and trees, no human made that.
Well, we gotta also understand though. Yeah, but what we also gotta understand though is even the artificial shit is an extension of the creator because it's an extension of us.
Yeah.
So anything that's an extension of us
are you making the creator?
I mean, so I definitely get what you're saying with that, brother. You know, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, are you making
just like us right now building on this computer and cell phones? That's
but you just have to be careful too, because like you said, the energies, is kind of neutral. You can take it and do good things and bad things. So I'm pretty sure that the creator wouldn't want. You get what I'm saying? Even though everything do need a balance.
Yeah. This is the thing about the creator, man. A lot of people want to say the creator's this way, the creator's that way, the creator thinks this way, the creator thinks that way. Well, I'm here to tell everybody on the panel that everybody's right. The creator is everything. The creator is everything you can think of. Right. He can be anything you want him to be.
That's right.
Like, because what you gotta understand is your imagination is your link to the creator. So anything you can imagine in this world is real somewhere. It's a reason why you imagine that shit. Like a lot of people think that your imagination is just you making up shit. No, when you actually study where thoughts come from, you will realize that your imagination is actually a product of the world around you.
Fact.
Right. I agree with that.
No, yeah. That's why the brain can be manipulated.
Right, because imagination is how people nation build. You know what I'm saying? Like if you even look at the word, it's I am magically generating my nation. You know what I'm saying? Like you can actually use your imagination to create the world that you desire. That's why.
And what do nations do? What do nations do?
What do
they create? They create.
They rise and fall.
They create. Every civilization ever existed on this earth has created something in some form. Has created some things, man. Like even down to the kids, man. Like you like long ago, these kids used to create toys and shit out of natural material. Like you think the adults were just smart. The kids were brilliant too with this shit. Like they knew how to do shit that we can't even do as grown men now. You know what I'm saying? Because their imagination took them to a different thought process, I should say. So they was thinking about their reality a little different than we do. We're taught in our reality to embrace someone else's imagination so they can profit, but decline our own. So when we think of something that we're imagining, we automatically associate with that with falsehood. You know what I'm saying? Fake shit, fairy tale shit that can't really be explained in the real world. But if somebody really told you that everything that you dreamt about or thought about, you know what I'm saying, is actually real somewhere, and that's the reason why you actually received that thought out in the ether. You know what I'm saying? So like thoughts is something that you catch. You You know what I'm saying? It's like thoughts is some things that your brain is a magnet to. You know what I'm saying? So your magnetic fucking pull from your mentality, bro. You can pull certain thoughts. You know what I'm saying? That's why they came in with the phrase like pull shit out of midair, because that's really what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
That's deep. And that's why I feel like, of course, we got to bring it back to the black community. Like, that's why double parent
Speaking to the mic a little bit, brother.
I said that's why double parent households is so important in the black community, because the way we teach our children should be more advanced than it is now. Like the brother said, like, what if we didn't never limit our children's reality? So when they're 3 and they're watching, Iron Man or some shit, they thinking they can create that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we telling them, nah, that shit fake as hell. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever think about that shit. You feel me?
Yeah, man. That's called forcing a handicap onto somebody, bro. Like, seriously, man. That's forcing a handicap, because what it is we don't understand our own mentality. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cripple everybody else's mentality with our already misunderstood mentality. That's what's going on today. Like, the world doesn't understand how to operate at their pristine level when it comes to mentality. So what they'll do is they'll try to condition children to actually be brought up the way they were brought up, just to play it safe. That's it. Okay, so in order for me to not be unorthodox with my kids and not stand out like a sore thumb and goddamn be called crazy for raising my kids like this, I'm gonna raise my kids the way I was raised, the way my grandmama was raised. I'm gonna just keep it the same, and that's what people are doing, bro. Like, they're not adding no creativity to how they're raising their kids.
I mean, it's been going on for a long time, brother. It's just controlling the mind, man, for too fucking long,
Yeah, and, man.
I mean, like, look, man. I look at things like this, man. Look at us in America, man. Look at the president we got. But us as a people voted him in. I mean, besides him, look at every other president we had. But we vote him in, and we let them sit there every day of the whole 4 or 8 years that they
and they smile in our face, and they be shitting on us behind closed doors. Yep, and that's how the story goes.
We're running around paying things for that we can't even enjoy.
Yep.
But I mean, that president, man, is picked 10, 20 years ahead of time. They just a puppet. They
selected.
They just.
So you see what I'm saying?
They just.
To be honest,
go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
To be honest, I believe the presidents were picked a long time ago. Before that, I think bloodlines were chosen.
So every president is connected back to a dude. You feel me, bro?
That makes sense.
Man, a little girl was able to prove this herself by tracing their ancestors back. Man, you can Google this shit, Gary. Yep. Damn, you ain't got to disagree with everything, brother. Just check it.
No, you making claims that you can't prove. You just pulling it out your ass.
Hold on. 1 second, Gary. I'm finna prove it to you now. I'm finna Google this shit. Drop it in the chat, and you can see it. It's a little girl that was able to trace damn near every president back to one era in Europe.
Sure did. And guess what? That shit was on a wide. That shit was really on wide national news, because
including Barack Obama.
Yeah,
including Obama. Obama ain't even American black. He African black, bro. It's a difference. He's
exactly
from Kenya,
why.
and his mom is a white lady, bro. He was raised by white grandparents.
Yeah, I know. Go ahead, pull it.
Okay, I'm finna prove it. I'm finna pull it up now. Copy the link, and I'm finna drop it in the chat, and you see yourself. A little girl did this. Not no grown scientists or shit. One little single girl, and everybody agreed with it, and they praised her for being able to do this research.
And that's why I think it's foolish for people to vote anyway.
So, yeah, man.
Listen, man, that egregor, that spirit, that entity, that energy, whatever you want to call it, that negative one is so thick, and it's been so thick for so long. It's been eons. We haven't been able to cut through it.
Yeah, but it's always the same answer, man. It's always the same answer to cut through the shit, but we just can't get to the point of actually executing the action that's required to do it.
It's power in numbers too, you know?
Yeah, that's what we need is numbers. And that's the hardest part of doing the task that's at hand. We got to have numbers along. We got to have allies. You know what I'm saying?
See, come on now, like we do got allies. We are united. Well, like, not saying the comment, like, people like us are not
what's
common.
Up, Steven? Like, welcome to the broadcast.
Hey, what's happening, man? How y'all doing?
Hear common people talking about this shit. So the common people are united, bro. Like I go to the hood, I see 30 niggas on the block. but it's about what people are uniting under. You feel me?
That's what I'm saying. They have to know what they're uniting for. And they have to be willing to stay united for that cause in order for us to get this shit done. Like, I don't need no bandwagon jumping ass motherfuckers that just want to be a part of the wave. And then when shit really get real, they want to go somewhere and just, you know what I'm saying, go somewhere and hide and shit. Like, that's not what we need. We need that energy. We need that fucking champion energy, dog. Like, we can't sit around, tuck our motherfucking tails and let this shit just go by in our lifetime. Because we got kids that gotta grow up in this shit. We got their kids that gotta grow up in this shit.
And I hate hearing, you know, I'm young, bro, and I hate hearing people say, well, you can't save the world. You know what I'm saying? You can't nobody change the world and shit. And I'll be like, bro, like, that's what I mean. We only think like that, so that's what the people want us to think like we can't change.
I swear, because the world changing every motherfucking day. So who doing that?
Right. So look though, you got the scared motherfuckers that want to do good that's too scared to come out. But it's crazy because the scared motherfuckers that want to do bad eventually end up coming out. So it's like,
yeah, because
I know
scared to be called weird. That's it.
But it's like, fuck, man. You know what I mean? But look though, it all starts individually as well too, though, man.
Oh yeah,
everybody has to have that mind frame individually, and it'll turn into the collective.
It always starts with one mind.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm an imperfect human, man. So I fuck up every day, man. But I really try to be the best I can to myself and the people around me. Word. Because I done destroyed enough having a certain mind frame growing up, man. And the elements around you, forming you into something you don't want to become.
Oh yeah,
you know,
man. Look, they learned that shit about our reality a long time ago. That's why they constructed our living conditions the way they did, man. They realized that once you put a group of people in a stressful environment, it affects them directly, not indirectly, directly.
To the point where it changed their DNA.
It not only changed your DNA, it'll change how your kids react to certain things. It'll change a lot of things about your bloodline.
What you mean by stressful environment? Like you just talking about poverty or like?
I'm talking about oppression. Oppression don't happen in the suburbs or the upper class neighborhoods, do it? Oppression happens in our neighborhoods. Middle class, low class.
I mean, all right. So you're talking about a racial oppression. I think oppression happens to everybody, but racial oppression happens.
All you gotta do, look, bro. It ain't racial. All you gotta do is Google that shit. I don't know how to share that shit, but type in "little girl connect all the presidents." She connected 42 out of 43 to a medieval English king. All you gotta do is Google it. I don't know how to share it from the page, but as soon as you type it in, it's multiple newspaper sources that print this: the New York Times, the Daily News, all of them. It's right there. So just because you didn't hear something, like don't disagree.
Down right now.
Hey, just because you didn't hear something and it's new to you, don't automatically disagree. Test it out to see if it's true before you disagree, Gary.
Right, that's a healthy mind for a researcher, man. That's
no observation. That's all.
But yeah, man, that's real true.
But
all the presidents are related. All of the presidents are related. And how I know it's true? How I know it's true is because my dad told me that shit when I was like 10 years old, and he was in the military, and he told me that shit. He said, "Look, all the presidents are related. Every last one of them. I mean, they're related somehow, some way."
It's more than just that little girl that can trace that, but that's not nothing for the masses to know. You get what I'm saying? That's not nothing but for nobody to know, but those motherfuckers in power.
It's all about doing real genealogy. See, everybody keep going off that DNA shit, but the CNN episode debunked DNA, made the companies actually admit that it's only 0.01% accurate, which means it's a fucking joke. If you want to connect your ancestors back, you got to go off birth records. You got to trace that paper trail back. And that's how she was able to connect all of them. Because once she started doing a motherfucking background check on who their ancestors was, starting from their mother to their great-grand to their great-great, it started connecting back to that one king in England.
What's his name, though, Truth? I need to know that.
Hold on, let me Google again. I can see what king it is because it was there. I was just trying to find out how to share the article inside.
Is it Ferdinand the Great? Some shit?
No, I don't think so. Hold on, let me.
That's just like George Bush Senior's wife. That's supposedly the child of Aleister Crowley.
Man, I heard that was Aleister Crowley.
Nah, they showed the shit. They showed the. Nah, she's a descendant of Aleister Crowley. That's the that's the granddaughter.
And
they all connected to King John of England, including the Bushes.
But listen, man. I mean, the shit is real, man. The energies is out there, and whoever feeds it is
King John of England. He was an English king, King John.
But
you could type it in and it'll pull right up and tell you everything. And the Bushes are included. That everybody except for one president.
But
JFK,
including JFK, bro.
Hold up, I thought you said it was one president that wasn't included.
What's up, Takar? Welcome to the broadcast.
It's one. It's 42 out of 43.
What up? Peace.
Pertaining to what Brother E was talking about earlier, and you know, us as a black people, and just having that mindset, you know, a lot of us have a mindset that, you know, shouldn't be had. I mean, it goes back to slavery too, brother. We the earliest people to come out of slavery. You know what I mean? Shit is still fresh.
Slavery been around for the longest, man.
No, I know, but I'm talking about us as a people, brother.
Takara and Steven,
I'm talking about 1900. Talking about 1900 slavery, just 50 years ago, brother.
I just don't like how often when black people get together, we talk about shit. It always got to go back to slavery. I cannot stand that.
Because what you have no, brother. But what you have to understand, but now we talking about the genetics. When you put, we were in that environment for 400 years. We haven't been out of that environment for less than 50. So what I'm saying is that it manipulated our DNA. So we're coming out the womb already.
Terry, check this out though. Like, okay, in this lifetime, bro, how long did it take you to become like aware of this info and change your life though?
Shit, I'm not gonna lie, man. I probably came out the womb like that. See, but having the info on you.
Now y'all talking astrology.
No. And when I say that is I came up 3-4 years old trying to understand what was the number one, who made the number one. One could be two for all you know. This is how I came up growing. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, I know what you mean. Always a curious mind. When's your birthday, bro?
August 18th.
You a Leo like me, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's cool, man. Hey, look, I'm gonna give y'all some knowledge on some shit, man. Talk. I don't really know like these type of conversations, but right now that the signs is like a ticking time clock. So when certain signs become interested in this shit, that's when the grand awakening gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's when the shit really starts. See, the signs like the Scorpios, the Capricorns, the Virgos, the Pisces, those signs and the Cancers, they're already designed to be curious about this type of information. You know what I'm saying? So like when you got Leos out here already interested in this shit, you already know shit about to get real. Because a Leo is all about standing out. A Leo is all about, you know what I'm saying, getting ahead of the curve, being the focal point and things like that, being an example, or being a leader, a fucking initiator. That's what the Leo is about. So if you got Leos in this circle and they trying to put 2 and 2 together, you already know we on to something, man. I'm just gonna be honest.
Right, I agree with that.
Hey Gary, have you found the article yet?
Yeah, I found the article. She kind of stretches it a little bit, but
hey Gary, you need some of that Leo energy. You heard? Just open up a little bit more, Gary. You know, be open to conversation.
No, listen here.
You know,
was those respectable newspaper sources that published that story?
Yeah, and everybody wanted to point out to you that since most Americans are of European descent, because America was a European colony, that you can kind of say everybody has some kind of cousin or half cousin.
Hey, Gary, I want you to listen to my brother Takara break down reality and your reflection. Go ahead and break that down, Takara.
What's the topic?
Oh man, it's an open topic, man. We all over the place.
Right, yeah, man, we just chopping up game, bro. Hey,
Takara, tell them about the reflections.
Okay, so basically everybody comes out of the womb.
Listen close, Gary.
Everybody comes out of the womb not realizing that they're mesmerized by light and reflection of frequency, right? There's 7 billion people in the planet, and there's only one of you. So look at those ratios, look at those odds, right? Now, when you look at 7 billion people in the planet, you have to realize that not one of them has ever seen their face. They've never seen their head, right? But yet they dwell above their body, right? They've never seen their eyes.
No, right.
They've never seen their ears, but they're always listening to themselves. You see what I'm saying? If you have a big, you probably
see what you're saying.
Well, the thing is that have you ever seen your face?
Yes.
No, you haven't. Have you ever took your
Are you going to ask me the questions while I can answer them, or are you going to answer the questions for me?
I mean, you have to listen to the question, brother.
If you're wrong,
I answered it.
How have you seen it?
That is my answer.
How have you seen it? How?
How have I seen my face?
Have you seen a reflection of your face?
I've actually
seeing a reflection of your face is not seeing your face, Gary. Go ahead, Takar, finish.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not, brother.
No, it's not.
It's an illusion. It's an illusion. Go ahead, Takar, finish, brother.
The thing about it is that we look at ourselves in a mirror, right? And the mirror is showing a reflection of us looking back at ourselves. We're interpreting what we look like, right? Now, you've never seen your face. You've never taken your eyeball out of your head and actually looked at your face.
You don't have to.
Go ahead, brother.
No, you can see yourself on video. You can see yourself in a picture. And you know that because you see other people in pictures and videos. And
we understand what you're saying.
That is your perception, Gary.
We understand what you're saying.
Go ahead, Takar. Go ahead.
Somebody else, it would be wrong.
Hey, Takar, go ahead. Finish.
Hey, this deep as hell, though.
Well,
it's so deep, it's simple, huh? But my son Gary, man, open up, Gary. Open up, Gary. Open up, brother.
What in the hell are you talking about?
But even when you look at a picture, it's still
Gary, I'm gonna ask you: have you seen your face?
Yes.
You're a lie. You haven't.
No, you can't call me a lie. I have seen my picture. I just told you. If
you can't look at yourself, brother.
Have you seen yourself in the physical, brother? Have you seen yourself in the physical?
This is where you listen for my answer. I have seen myself on video, on picture, and in a mirror. Now, that
is not seeing yourself in the physical.
Hold on. Listen. I have also seen other people on picture, on video, and in a mirror, and I'm able to identify them either way. So for you to say I can't see myself, even though I can see other people with pictures and videos and in a mirror, then what you're saying is
that's perception. Right. That's your perception of the world.
Right. And I perceive what I look like. I know my face.
But you haven't seen yourself.
Hold on.
Yes, I have.
What I think,
Takar, go ahead and finish, Takar.
What I think they're trying to say is that you can't look at yourself like you can look at your hands, right?
Yeah.
Like if you look at your hands.
He knows. Gary knows. Look, so Tenkara, you could definitely finish, but it's kind of ironic to me, right? Gary, and I may be wrong, but you seem like the type of person that if somebody would say, "Look at yourself," you would be the type of person they would be like, they would say, "How? That's impossible."
Yeah. I just told you how you can look at yourself.
No, I know, Gary. I know. That's why I said it's ironic, brother. You gotta listen. It's a joke.
So go ahead and finish.
How about this?
It's a horrible joke.
The thing about it is that when I look at a tree, right, a tree shows me a color that it cannot be.
Go ahead.
You see what I'm saying? How light works and how you perceive light is a refractory. Now those green leaves, they're actually showing you that it cannot absorb the color green. So it's every other color but
you don't
green.
Know how light works.
Right?
You don't know how light works. Okay.
Well, this is
Go ahead, brother. We listening. Go ahead. That's amazing though, because man, it's like Go ahead though.
The thing I'm trying to say is that we are not looking at ourselves and realizing that we are so valuable. And out of 7 billion people, we've never seen ourselves, but we've seen we've seen 699 billion. You see what I'm saying? We've seen nobody else except us. That's how rare we are. That's how we should look at ourselves. We should look at ourselves as very rare individuals that I treat you just like how I want to be treated because I've never seen my face.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and based on how we've learned to take in, the understanding of light. Somebody may look good to me that don't look good to you.
That's right.
See, I would look at that as perspective. I know earlier you guys were talking about a reality, and to me, I think reality is a shared experience that we can agree upon. So if we agree that Gary looks at a certain way and we can all identify him when we see him, then that's something that we agree on in our experience. That's part of our reality.
But we can have similar traits in reality, but everybody's reality, I think, is one and one.
Yeah, I would look at that as their perspective, but the reality is still the same.
But reality is not really reality because
reality is different in everybody's reality.
We were all told that the sky is blue, right? But the sky is clear.
Right, but that's just more of a definition. But we all agree on it, right? If we're driving down the road,
that's just like water being blue in the sea. But we drink water and it's clear.
Like if we're all driving down the street and we see a green light, we're not going to usually just stop. We kind of all agree that we're just going to go together. And if it's red, we usually all stop together. So it's more of an agreed on shared experience.
Reality is an agreement of the masses.
That's right, because we were programmed to stop at red and go at green.
How do you feel? How do you feel if I was colorblind? How would I feel if I was colorblind and I don't see the same perspective as you?
Right, and then I think in reality, then you'd probably go with the flow and, like they say, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. So if you see everybody else is stopping, most likely you would stop too.
Now when you say when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Now, when you look at Rome and you look at the Jesuit oath, do you really want to follow Rome?
No, but that's more of like a hypothetical, right? I'm saying, like, as far as a shared experience, if you have only so much to work with, then you would just do what you got to do. Like, if it's kind of like when somebody says fire and everybody's running, you only have so much to work with. But I do think everybody has their own perspective and everybody's reality is different. But
Gary is Catholic, right?
But if we're a collective, we all kind of work together to make the reality work. But we all have our own experiences.
But you do see where I'm coming from, though.
Oh no, absolutely.
You see,
but I think somehow there's a certain way we have to do in order to work together as a society. I think there's things that we just agree upon.
But when you look
whether we like it or not,
I know, but that's the thing. The thing is, okay, check this out.
And that right there isn't even core reality. That's truth.
Out of billion, okay, let's see. I don't know how much sperm there is, but out of say a billion, say there's 7 billion sperm, right? You're the only one that made it. And the ratio of a sperm in the womb is you inside the planet looking for yourself. You see what I'm saying?
That's deep. That's deep as fuck.
Inside the woman, there's a cleaning fluid that is detrimental to a sperm, right? But you're the only one that made it. Even when you got to the egg, there's a whole bunch of sperm around it trying to get in, but you're the only one that made it. So when you actually realize that you're the king or queen of your castle, right? And you're right under your nose, but the thing is, we're always looking for something. What is it? We're looking for our faith. We're looking for ourselves.
Well, one question: how many people did you say? What did you say? 7 billion. So you mean this has happened 7 billion times?
They say that.
He was just throwing a number out there, though.
Yeah, that's to give or take because there's 7 billion people in the world supposedly.
Yeah. So that means it's happened 7 billion times, but it's just miraculous.
Right. Say that there's people that are living,
Say that there's a doppelganger, right, out there that might look like you, but he will never think the way you do or experience the experiences.
Right.
Out of people is unique, of course. All these people on the planet, you're pretty rare, then, right?
Yeah, I guess it'd be like snowflakes. They're all unique, right? But there's a ton of them.
Right.
Exactly.
Then you're not really. So are you talking about the physical or the mental? Then when you think, but everybody thinks, we all think differently. That's the non-physical, right?
Everybody thinks different. It doesn't matter. You don't think the same way I think.
Sure.
we might agree upon certain things, but that's an agreement. That means, like, say, okay, check this out. If there's 10 of us, say, okay, that is a red color, right? And then
right,
one of us that say, oh no, man, that looks more like a maroon color, right? Then you're basically saying everybody's gonna agree that that's red. Well, what about the one person that sees something totally different? You see what I mean?
Yeah, but you're talking about subjective things. We mainly want to make sure we agree on objective things, not subjective.
Right,
things.
but yeah, because what's going to happen then is like even the person that might be colorblind, for example, could eventually be taught to say, okay, well, this is what the color will kind of look like. I mean, because if we were driving, like I was using the light example, the cop's not going to care whether or not they're going to be like, well, it was green, light was, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So I think when all of us together as humanity or as a society or whatever, it's kind of like a body. All the parts got to work together in order to make sure that you're healthy. So it's like or just like a watch, all the parts got to move together to make one big unit happen. And I think that's kind of like what we are. Even though we're different, we have the same experience, a shared experience that makes us all work together.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Whose perspective of reality? That's what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? Because the thing is,
I understand what you're saying. Yeah. I think that's just something we agree upon. That's all.
Look at North.
We just agree.
But hold on. Look at North America. North America is all European. This is an all European ideology. The teaching, the mentality, and everything like that. Why? Because majority of the people who are from Europe, controlling it from Europe, right, is basically saying that this is how it is, and the rest of these people are saying, oh, okay, well, I guess we have to follow this, or we'll end up in jail.
Yeah. No, I agree. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, those people are just lost. But I'm just saying that if we're here, we're just going with the flow, right? Because we don't have any other place to go. And even people that come here from other places, they're just going along with it just to get what they need, and then they'll bounce or do whatever else they're doing. You know, because those are like rules. You know what I mean?
It's basically just being trapped in a system, man. And
right.
And you don't want to escape your happiness within that system. So you survive within that system.
Right. That's all we're doing. But I agree with you too. Yeah, it's all bullshit. But I think sometimes you just work together. You know what I mean? Just to like for example, it's like I got pulled. My sons and I were down in LA yesterday. I live in LA County, and we were down in San Fernando the other day, right? And my 23-year-old was driving. I had my 24 in the back, and I was in the passenger. 4 cop cars rolled up on us, pull their guns out on us, make us get out of the car. You know, we had to have our hands up and book ourselves. Then we had to lay face down on the ground. They all had their guns drawn. I guess somebody hit up a T-Mobile and thought that my son kind of resembled the person and thought we had a getaway car or some shit like that. Now, because we were calm and pretty cool, you know, eventually they were just like, okay, and they bounced. And I think that was my kids and I kind of working, just being cool, going with the flow. Now that stuff happens to people like us all the time, but we all seen instances where people were like, all right, let's fight the power or do this, whatever, and then they don't end up well. So sometimes you gotta know where, okay, what's the outcome going to be, or you know what I mean? Because sometimes you just got to go with the flow, even if you don't like it.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Now, how long were you detained?
Let's see, we were there for about an hour, 45 minutes, an hour.
Okay.
We were like, no, there was that. That
didn't take us
to the detained. Detained was you were.
We were just handcuffed, but we were just sitting there.
That doesn't mean
before
detained.
They decided to unhandcuff us. Yeah.
Okay. So how long were you stopped? You said half an hour, right? Or an hour and a half, right?
Now, we say between half an hour and an hour, 45 minutes or whatever. Yeah.
At any time, did you get a business card?
I did. I do have a business card. Yeah.
No. Did you get a business card from any of them?
Yeah.
Did you get a badge number from any of them?
You know what? I didn't get the badge number. It didn't cross my mind, but I know how to get a hold of the cat.
Okay. So now you do realize that every single thing that you've been through, you had was an order. It was a military order. So now you can actually charge them for that an hour and a half. Because it is a corporation. A corporation has to be liable for any infraction that happens in America.
Who's the corporation?
America is.
Pardon? America is not a corporation.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, no, definitely is.
Yes, it is.
It is not. No.
Yeah, the United States of America was a corporate. What was it? I can't remember the year. Was it 18? Oh, I can't remember the year. But it became a It used to be the United States for America. Now it's the United States of America, and they had changed it in. The name just slipped my mind.
The U.S. is just an extension of England. That's all it is.
That's it.
Okay. No, yeah, we pay a royalty to England for colonizing the United States, but it is a corporation now. It's been like that for about 100 or so years.
Yeah, but it can function as a corporation just like it can function as a department or a commission or even a instrument. But since it can function as those things, doesn't mean that it is those things.
Okay, so let me ask you this then.
You can function as a corporation as well.
Gary, what's your thoughts on America? What is America to you then?
Well,
if you wouldn't consider it a corporation, what would you consider it to be?
Well, it's a sovereign country. It does have the right to function as a corporation. It has to because it occurs.
Okay, to function as a corporation, so that wouldn't make it a corporation necessarily, though.
Well, no, because you can function as a corporation. Are you a corporation?
Well, not me. You said the country could function as a corporation.
Anyone can function as a corporation.
Okay, but we're not speaking about anyone. We're speaking about the country.
Right.
Let's keep it in context what we're speaking about.
Right. It's just, but what you're saying is
so now let's speak about America, not me. You.
There's no even all the states, all 50 states are their corporations too. Because every state's even been incorporated. Even a lot of the townships and stuff.
Yeah, they can function as corporations because they do business, right? They have to.
Well, listen, independent democracies, I can see that.
Fuck all that government talk. What Tenkara was hitting on was crazy. Which is like, I mean, we all are of importance, man. We are definitely important, man.
That's some real shit, Harry. I appreciate you coming and engaging my panel, man, for the first time, man. Yo, Tenkara always be on here spitting that real shit, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, I never. I mean, of course, I have a vision to see that, but I never looked at it like that. You know, it was like, oh, okay. I mean, just another way. Fucking Gary, you believe in evolution? Do you believe in evolution and whatnot, Gary?
I don't believe in evolution.
Yeah, I understand. Yes, I have an understanding of evolution.
Oh, right, so you think you came from a damn monkey?
Hold on. So
evolution doesn't say evolution doesn't say you came from a monkey. That's for people.
No. I'm just saying you believe we evolved. Okay, so I mean that's fine. I'll take it. You know, in the vague definition of evolution, we definitely evolved. I mean, you do believe in the globe and whatnot. I mean, that's fine, brother. I mean, I love you for that anyway and shit like that. But just be careful, man, because that right there. No, hold on, brother. Hold on, Gary. Hold on, Gary. Just give me 1 second, brother. Just give me 1 second. I just want to say, you have to be careful with that because when you think like that, that kind of puts an unimportance with the whole human race, you know, and we are very significant and important. And then just one more thing.
This is the thing about the human race,
Gary. With you having an understanding of the evolution and you believing in the globe.
Now you want to explain the human race when you can't even explain reality, Gary.
It sounds like you're Catholic. It sounds like you're a Catholic. Don't even sound like you're a deity.
I just said I was a deity. But let me help you out. There seems to be this thing with the human race where we have to be important, we have to be significant, or somehow.
Why wouldn't we?
But wonder if we wouldn't. Sometimes you have to understand that your life isn't going to be glamorous. Right?
Everybody's life.
So you're miserable.
You're
depressed.
We didn't say glamorous, but we said.
Oh no, he's actually. Well, no, that's like his character and his personality and who he is.
Yo, Gary, I don't know you through his words, but you are important to me, brother.
Yeah, Gary, you're important, brother. Even though you're going through things.
Oh my God, y'all dudes, y'all are too busy.
I'm just letting you know, my G, for real, man. Know what I mean? I done been on both sides of the spectrum.
Look,
and I respect you and I love you as a person.
About my reality that aren't glamorous because it's not always going to be pretty. Everybody,
of course.
This shit is rough.
We all go through things,
kings and queens, right?
This shit rough, brother, and it's gonna get rougher.
But the way you explain it, it has to be glamorous. We have to be special.
Glamorous and special is different, brother.
That's like when he said of evolution. Oh, you think you came from a monkey? Like, what if evolution did say that? So what? That's what it says.
Why should only the stars be stars?
You're a star, Gary. Yo, Truth, you still there, Truth?
Yeah, I'm still up here, man.
Because you're talking about glamour. Nobody's talking about glamour. I'm talking about
break down your ideals of reality.
Think it's more
because Gary seems to come right back to it.
I mean, yeah, I'll break it down.
And just express some of your sentiments about the conversation we had thus far, brother.
I mean, as far as reality go, it's basically an outlook on life as you see it as you move through this realm. You feel me? Like that's the real. I think that's the most logical definition of reality to everybody. And the thing is, why so much confusion and you know so many outlooks is because our reality is basically controlled for us. And you know, I can lead with examples that express like even not knowingly that your reality is controlled for you, but it is. You're not really living life how it's supposed to be. You know, you're supposed to be in control of all of that with nothing interfering in that way. And we got so much interference that's been put in the way that our reality is being controlled for us. Like, for example, you know, if you know, in order to survive, you know, you got to have a job. You got to have some source of income. So majority of the people have a job. You feel me? All right. So that part of your reality is they controlling your sleeping habits. And also, what are you doing at certain times of the day? You feel
your life is at a standstill 5 days a week, 8 hours a day.
Nah, but you pick your job.
I mean, but you not if y'all could just let me finish, you know, man, I sat back respectfully and didn't cut none of y'all off. You know, let me finish saying what all I got to say, and then, you know, you can let me know how you feel afterwards. But when I mean by that is like, you know, say for instance, you don't want to go to bed at 10 o'clock, but you have to because you have to be up in the morning for work. You know, I think me and you had this discussion before, Gary, about that. And the thing is even if you choose to stay up past that time, you're going to learn from that because it's basically they got you teaching yourself to get on schedule with that shit.
You choose your job. You work the hours you want to work. If you don't like that job,
hey, look, you do not choose the hours you want to work. I never heard of nobody going to work for. Hold on, Gary. I don't know what job you got, brother, but for majority of regular folks, that job tell you what shift you on and what hours you would be working. Point blank period. No. Nobody go. Ain't never heard of nobody going to no job. Gary, just let me finish, man. Stop.
Well, you're wrong.
I mean, just have some decorum.
No, he's not wrong.
Yourself,
he's right. He's right.
And let me finish, bro.
Everybody's job is different, brother.
You feel me?
I know that.
Man,
the job I had.
I personally,
you don't pick your hours.
Oh my God, man!
I had to be in there at 7 o'clock every day.
Man. So I mean, I didn't say shit when nobody was talking, but like
Gary, let him finish, Gary.
Bro, maybe you in an exclusive percentage club, bro. But damn near everybody I know, including my own motherfucking mama, never went to a job and be like, you know what? Yeah, I want the job, but these the hours that I can work. No, the job is going to tell you what hours they got available for you to work. And if you agree to it, that's what time you have to be there.
If you agree to it.
I mean, but if you don't agree to it, you ain't got no fucking job. Everybody.
No, you go get another job.
Everybody don't have that luxury, Gary. And for you to sit here and insinuate that people got the choice to be able, like, a person that never went to school cannot go be no lawyer. They never been to law school. Yeah,
right, but you can go to school to be a lawyer.
All right, but you are an adult. But you are an adult now, and you're living on your own, and you got to pay bills.
You have to go get a job. You can go start your own business if you wanted to. You just have to apply yourself.
All right, that sounds nice.
But how can you start your own business without proper knowledge?
But Gary, that sounds nice and all, and you right. But for the majority of regular motherfuckers, bro, that is not the case.
We're fucking Alice in Wonderland over here, man.
It's like it's not, and the thing is, you know that's the case, but still you want to argue with the fact of what reality is going on, bro. I'm speaking real fucking reality, bro. Everybody do not get to pick their hours that they work, except if you own your own business.
You're giving your perception, and I disagree with your perception because I know plenty of people who have a job and have had to switch their hours. They go to the job and say, "Hey, I can't work these hours anymore. Can I get switched to daytime?" And they say, "Yes, we can switch you to daytime, but this
it's not that easy for everybody though."
But do they get to pick the hours though? Just because they switch shifts don't mean they pick the hours.
That doesn't mean they picked it.
And the hours are set on every shift. You either gonna get your ass there at 6 in the morning or 2:30 in the evening.
Hold on. It depends. There are some corporate jobs where, yes, their hours are more set, but there are also jobs that are owned by more independent people. Like me, my job is not owned by a corporation.
So what is your job?
So I can easily go tell my boss, hey, I can't work from this hour to this hour. Can I come in from here to here? And he can agree to that or not agree to it. And then if he can't agree to it, then I would tell him that I might have to go switch jobs and work somewhere else that can give me those hours because I won't be able to work the other hours.
All right, Gary, I don't know where the fuck you grew up at, bro, but I'm gonna be real with you. I come from the slums, fam. Everybody ain't got that luxury, bro. Nigga, it's like one thing. Only way you controlling your own hours, nigga, is if you hustling. And still, you ain't really controlling them hours because it's hours you got to be up. I mean, man, I'm talking. I don't know where you from. I don't know where you from.
I had 2 jobs, and one of them I worked at home, and I picked my own hours. I can work.
Hey, they hiring? I want to work from home. Shit,
you want me to give you the information?
Hell yeah, hook me up. I'm dead ass.
So truth. I apologize, brother, if you felt some type of way when I interrupted. I was just definitely in agreement with you, Gary. Like I was saying, I may be wrong, but you just got to open up a little bit. Because answer this question: if you look at more or less the spectrum, do you feel that people are going to work when they want to go to work, or
people go to work when they can go to work? But usually you try to get a favorable schedule depending on whether or not you have kids or if you have a second job or if it's your first or primary job. You do what you do to fit your schedule. Now, some people don't even get jobs. Some people are more entrepreneurial and they go and start their own businesses. Now, it depends on what you have. Like you say, you're training, right? But most people go and take the time and put in the time and do the work and get it done.
That's not the case for most people. I understand that, Gary. I know people like that too, man. I'm gonna be real. But for the most part, the majority of people that come from where we come from, they don't have that option. And you know, that just being real about the situation. Everybody don't have that option, and the people that don't have that option, it's a majority more of them than the people that do have that option. You feel me?
I mean, I hear you, but I mean, it depends on the person. If you have the drive, you can go do it. I know somebody who started a lawn care service business. They went down, they got them a lawnmower, a weed eater, got them a small little bit of clientele, started making money, and then bought them additional equipment as they went up.
Yeah, that's fact.
They were doing it out the back of a Caprice Classic. They didn't even have a truck. They just put their weed eater in the back seat, put the lawnmower in the trunk.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. I agree with you on that aspect, but I'm saying, though, for the most part, as far as like working for a business, majority of the people that come from where we come from do not have the option of picking
where we come from. I came from where we come from.
I don't know.
Currently, I'm in the process of possibly going from being an employee at my job to actually owning my job.
That's what's up, man. Congratulations. Real talk. I don't know, man. I don't know people who pick their own hours. The only people I know that pick their own hours, man, it ain't among the corporate, the corporate aspects of this country, bro. So.
Well, but I can tell you, I pick my own hours. I have basically 2 jobs. In one job I make about $15 an hour, and then I have another job where I make like $65 an hour.
Oh, that's sweet. But back to reality. That's
right. Back to reality.
Let's not turn this into a shit show today. Because I don't want people to think about that back and forth. I've been speaking on here with Gary for a while. Like, I respect Gary, and man, we cool. We just debating, and we get a little emotional sometimes, including myself. But I actually like Gary. Like, I like the fact that he come with a whole different perspective because it keep me on top of my shit. Yeah. But back to reality. Reality is what you perceive life as you move through it. But right now, it's certain aspects and roadblocks that we not able to actually experience the full spectrum of reality, because some aspects of our reality is being controlled unwillingly, even knowing, just thinking that it's just normal way of life, and it's really not.
Yeah. Now, I just want to say something here. If I took away the sun, what color?
Probably wouldn't be dark. There wouldn't be no need for it.
You wouldn't see any color at all, because light allows you to see different fractions of color, right? If I took away the water on the planet, if I took away all the water on the planet, where's the border?
You say what?
Where's the border? If I took away all the water on the planet, where's the border?
I mean, borders are imaginary anyway, but if you took away all the water on the planet, shit, it wouldn't be no life.
No, there would be no borders at all, because there's one piece of
I don't know if the water determines where a border would be.
Well, the thing is, there's a border between. They say that there's a border between United States and China, right?
I mean, borders are imaginary. You know, it's I mean,
right?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Right. Yeah,
we're on one piece of rock hurtling around the sun. Okay. We don't know, if it's round. We don't know if it's flat. We don't know if it's oblong, if it's a freaking pyramid, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that there's one piece of rock, right? It's surrounded by water, right? We're all connected, whether we like it or not. The same air that I'm breathing is the same air you're breathing, right? That element binds us all, right? It touches
real shit.
It touches every single bit of us, right? And when you look at how the brain works, the brain only works on oxygen. You see what I mean? So we're actually connected mentally, right? Psychically, physically, spiritually even, because spirit means breath. You see what I mean? Every single person.
And breath means energy.
And breath means energy.
That's right.
Breath is life.
When did breath start meaning energy?
Well, you can look it up for yourself, brother. Have you ever heard of etymology?
Yeah. I still don't see where breath is supposedly meaning energy. I've heard that breath means spirit.
To the wind, it will tell you.
What?
Listen to the wind. That's like saying the wind isn't energy.
Okay.
I mean, you act like you can't comprehend, like it's that hard to fathom.
Well, I mean, if you just say off the wall stuff and say
that's not off the wall stuff, look this shit up.
That is off the wall.
Look this shit up.
Hey, knowledge, what you
breath is energy.
What you're experiencing is the grand difference between a person with an unlocked mind and a person that does not have their mind unlocked yet.
Trigger. That's go ahead, Trigger. I'm gonna let you get the mic, man, because I was calling you to get the mic.
I don't want the mic because I'm really listening to y'all boys. You know what I'm saying? And I'm eating dinner and shit. But
cool.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's basically what we gotta overcome. That we gotta understand that everybody ain't got their minds unlocked like we do.
Well, yeah. I mean, because he looking at me like what you mean energy?
Yeah,
like
so
I'm talking crazy. I mean, like this shit is real. Look this shit up, bro.
No, you explain your position. You're making it.
They have not been to them corners of the internet, bro. They don't know what the hell we know.
He can pull out a book, look up some synonyms for spirit and energy and breath, man. I mean, bro. I mean, I don't know, man.
Look at the synonym for society. It actually means a gang, a syndicate.
Oh my life.
Oh, say that again. Say what you just said again.
I said if you look up the synonym for society, it actually means a gang, a syndicate.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's why I say like the police are, a gang. Like we be scared and we thinking they're coming to protect and serve, but they're coming to protect and serve the land of the oppressor. You know what I'm saying? Like, so those are the hitmen. You know what I'm saying? Those the niggas you be like, hey, y'all go handle that. You know, that's why we see them acting the way that they act. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
well, if you look at the word police, it's kind of like policy. Police,
I've always said this,
they
man.
set the policy.
Well, the thing is, if you look at, is it possible knowledge that you can look up the police oath of conduct?
Look, man, police, they are the they are the reflection of whoever the fuck we really need to be worried about. Whoever in charge of all this dumbass deception and shit, they also allow the police to exist in every state, every fucking country, and still be a separate entity from the actual government. So, well, the way I look at it is, if they're allowing police officers to kill these people and not do nothing really but a slap on the wrist about it, it's a reason for it. It ain't right. It ain't right. It's a reason why they getting away with it, though.
it's a reason why is because they got backing. Like that's like in real life when you see, you know, the gang life, you can send, you know, it's killers out here that's still free, brother. Like I know niggas that kill niggas every day and still walking around like, what's up, bro? You know what I'm saying? You good?
Yep.
Just, you know what I'm saying? So like it's the same shit. You know what I'm saying?
They only strong like that though because we not unified. The thing is like, say one section of people was willing to go up against them, but everybody and say they was able to win. But it's so many of them that they gonna bring that eventually they gonna get overran because the other sections
numbers ain't gonna grow fast.
Yeah, the other section of people is like, that's not our problem and shit. So if all the sections of people all over this world came together and control what's going on in their neighborhood and shit, they wouldn't be able to do shit because you already got it on lockdown. You feel me? But they able to come in like that. That's why I always tell niggas and shit, like, bro, like, when I see niggas on Facebook recording that shit, bro, I don't give them niggas a round of applause. Real talk, I want to slap the shit out of them. Cause how the fuck is 10 of y'all and 2 of them and y'all letting this happen, bro? Like, that would never happen. And I done proved that shit. Like when the police tried to bomb rush my man, I grabbed the bitch and tossed her ass and shit. We both broke loose. Yeah, they called us some days later, but fuck that. That's my man's. You feel me? Like, man, they ain't never finna pounce on my homie like that, bro. So you ain't gonna never see me holding the phone on Facebook, bro. If y'all see me on that bitch, I'm on the other end, bro, handling some business.
Yo, like think about it. That was the thing to like GTA. You know, like 12 it's so many cops. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different departments of police ass motherfuckers. They the hugest gang. They the biggest gang.
Yeah,
so no matter where you go, no matter what you do, them niggas gonna be right there with the firepower, you know what I'm saying? So
on life,
we be so scared. Like,
everybody good, man? Everybody good? I just want to say I appreciate y'all time. Y'all heard? I'm about to fuck with the fan, brother Sanchez just went live too, and don't definitely, y'all don't get y'all motherfucking blood sugar raised behind this shit. You heard?
I ain't hear it. You got a YouTube?
Yo, my nigga, I don't even got, man, I'm so old school, man. I'm living in a different matrix. You heard me? I don't even got a Facebook or none of that, man.
I got you.
But I mean, I'm always right here on certain shit like this, man.
Well, I appreciate you coming in on the panel, brother.
Yeah, man.
I already know, man. We gonna build always. Yo, 10, that shit you was talking, and brother Jay. Word, man. Yeah. Y'all keep doing that, man. That shit right there open up the ears, man. But brother Sanchez just went live. I don't know what's up though. I'ma holler at y'all boys though, man.
Be smooth out there, man.
All right. One.
Yep.
Yeah, the reason why I wanted to look up the police oath of conduct, they have to uphold that oath. If they don't uphold that oath, they are now liable for basically violating that.
I can't hear you. Somebody's playing music in the background.
One thing we don't do is look up that oath and hold them to their oath, because the thing is that I think it was the early 1900s where the president made sure that everybody had to take an oath to uphold basically the sanctity of the job. You see what I'm saying? And if they violate oath, they life big time.
Yep.
See what I mean? So that's why I want the knowledge.
I agree with you, bro. I agree. I can't look it up right now, but I agree with you. G. Like, I think the police, like, that's why, bro. I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to fuck with the system at all. Like, I know I hear a lot of people saying we need to replace this system with a system of justice, this and that. Like, I feel like we need no system, man. Like, let people live free. I think karma will get up with anybody who need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you the nigga that desire to steal from your brother, or if you desire to, rape motherfuckers and shit, you deserve to die. You feel me?
Yeah, like we ain't had no system and shit. People. The thing is this right here. If we ain't had no system, you feel me? People morals will kick in when some foul shit happen and unite and rise up against that. That's just naturally in our DNA. Yeah. We know that shit is wrong. So we know ain't no police and no shit like that. We take care of each other and we live by that code. And my brother's keeper. You feel me? You hold that down tenfold. When shit when shit got to be dealt with, you deal with it. But other than that, you let people live, be free. And it don't mean that by like just let people have the right to choose they want to kill. But like, nah, bro, I shouldn't have to go pay to have a privilege to drive. You feel me? I shouldn't have to ask nobody to build on this land, which is mine. You feel me? I shouldn't have to, if I wanted to contain my own source of energy, I should have the right to do that without the county trying to come and condemn my property. You feel me? All types of shit. You feel me? I should have the right to grow my own food. You feel me? Whatever the fuck I want to do outside of breaking the laws of creation and shit, I should have the right to do that shit.
But hey, Truth, I just have a quick question. Do you think if we were living like that, do you think people still then can come over and just take your land? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
the value of land got put on by the powers that be. Land was just land. Like, even when they came here to the Americas and shit, bro, like, it wasn't like we was against them. Like, we accepted them. Nothing. This is not even valuable to us. This is what is. This is for everybody. Nobody has the right to claim ownership to something that was put here for everybody and shit. And that's where it's fucked up at.
And that goes back to the Matrix thing.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of how we would live, like, if we didn't have our own spot. Like, let's say nobody owned the land. You would eventually want something that was yours, though, right? Like, okay, it would be agreed upon that this is where we live, and you wouldn't go there, right?
Right. I mean, it ain't necessarily like that, because all you gotta do is just look at the Americas, bro. You feel me? Like, every tribe lived here all over. Like, they found the area where they laid they head at this shit, because eventually all these tribes outside of the Mongolian looking ones, all the tribes that was here before they came, is all connected to the same people regardless. It's just all migrated to different spots and different locations. But when you come in, you show peace and you show respect as you coming through the areas of one of your brothers and your sisters, even though y'all outside of different tribes.
I want you guys to check out what do you call it? One, Abraham Lincoln was the one who created the Homestead Act that allowed Europeans to get pieces of land, a football field, for $10. Okay. Two, the Royal Proclamation of 1864, something like that, right? King George, right? You need to read that, because it claims that you, as Aboriginal on this land, has the right to own your own property. Okay.
Yeah.
Guidelines for the European to function on this property.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the whole reason why when people like, man, look, I'm gonna say some shit that's probably gonna be a little off topic, but man, like this, man. Ever since I was a kid, bro, I knew who my people was. I grew up in Mississippi. I ain't know nothing about no out of Africa theory till I came to Chicago, bro. And the thing is like people wonder, like, oh, you know, that ain't true. The reason why they want you to believe that is because for the simple fact is this: they are operating on your property. This is your property. You feel me? And not necessarily that you look at it like that, but that's how they classify land, and they know this. So they owe us more than reparations, man. It's so much that they owe us that they can't afford to pay it back. And if it do, it would collapse the very system that they built. True. You feel me? So, you know, man, it's a lot to that shit. You know, man, we operated on a different frequency and shit. That's why everybody follow to our beat. Even in our lowest state that we in right now, everybody follow to our tune, whether it be music, dancing, fashion, all type of cultural shit. Everybody everywhere is trying to mimic us, man. Yeah, like we are different. I ain't saying we different like we all humans, but I'm saying we a different aspect of the human race. Everybody is a different aspect of the human race wherever you go geographically. Like, yeah, we all humans, we bleed the same, we function the same, we see the same, everything, but our outlook, a way of how we carry ourselves is way different, and our features as well. You feel me? So you know, everybody follow to our tune because our vibe is just on a whole nother plane. Like the reason why slavery is so fresh to us because we was the last ones to go into slavery. We was on a whole different tune than the rest of the world before we went into slavery. That shit wasn't here, but it was everywhere else. And it wasn't just in Africa. That shit was everywhere. Whites was being enslaved. Motherfucking what would you call Asians is being enslaved. Everybody was being enslaved, and everybody was being traded to the sub-Saharan Africa and shit, because you gotta think about it. Moroccan Empire was there. The Ottoman Turks used to bring slaves that way. The whites in Europe used to bring slaves down. You feel me? Other African nations used to bring. That's where the main slave trade was started at. That's why you have them docks on West Africa. It's not because of the Atlantic slave trade. Them docks been there for already before that even so-called happened, and that shit ain't even happened the way they said it happened. I ain't saying they ain't bring Africans over here as slaves, but they bought whites over here as slaves and shit too, bro. And people don't like to speak on that shit. But they did not come in them. They did not come in them numbers how they said they was. And the fact of the matter is, they took a lot of us over there into slavery and through Europe, down into Africa, sold all the scatter out. You know, so it's deep, bro.
Right. I have a quick question. How did we, like, I know it seems like in Africa anyway, it's been pillaged by everybody, whether it was the Greeks, the Romans, or whoever. I mean, how did the Arabs get over there? Like, I know they didn't have guns, I don't think, right? Like when the Arabs came, how did they win against the Egyptians or Africans that were there? Like, I know when white people came, they had guns, but what did the Arabs have?
I mean, you know, whites conquered it before the gun era too. You know, it's just they had strength in numbers before they came. They conquer other areas, and when they conquer those areas, those soldiers from those areas is now part of their army. So, you know, you got to think about it. Every empire started off by conquering other areas and you know, sucking in other societies along the way. So when they came down to great civilizations, you know, they had to have the strength in numbers. And, you know, a lot of times those people in that areas, the blacks in that area, they didn't see it coming because they encountered those people already. And the last time they encountered them, it was on good spirit. So a lot of times they came in, you know, like, you know, on some double-edged sword shit, like on some.
They're infiltrated.
You know, they infiltrated and shit. So, you know, man, and that's the thing, you know, like those, you know, man, I'm gonna be real with you, know, like, man, I look at those as motherfuckers from that area as my brothers and sisters too, because I know they came over here and my ancestors looked at them as brothers and sisters. They always spoke as the same. Our spiritual sister is damn near the same as you know, Kemetic. You feel me? It's just spoken in different dialects because of different locations. Damn near everybody's spiritual system is the same. You know, the greatest thing is they try to make us think that these people lived at separate times, and that wasn't the case. They was all connected around the same time. Because it ain't no plagiarism. It's just basically everybody was on the same wavelength as far as spirituality. They just spoken and written in different dialects because of the areas where they was at.
Hey, yo, peace, my brothers, man. I just wanted to say it was nice building with y'all, bro. I'm finna go and get up out of here, eat something, man. But I learned something from y'all. Let's do this more, man.
Already, brother. I
Hey man, look, this right
here, brother.
Things like this, man. We need to start making shit like this a habit. Like we ain't gotta just get with each other. Like y'all be trendsetters in y'all communities and y'all connections and y'all network. You know what I'm saying? Just jog people's minds to get into these type of things, bro. Like building and talking about shit like this with each other, man. Because communication is key, bro. Only reason why they able to do the shit they doing is because we don't communicate enough with each other. Real shit. Because this motherfuckers that probably could have told us about this shit years ago had we been communicating.
Right.
Hey, I'm gonna holler at y'all too, man. I'm finna go chill with the family, y'all. Y'all be smooth.
All right. You take it easy.
All right, bro.
Knowledge uprising, man. Hit my line. Let's keep building those songs.
What are you doing?
So, you already know, brother July. Here, I got you, brother.
Pull up my pay stuff. Which isn't even.
So I guess everybody leaving out, man. We could close out.
Hey, shit, man. I ain't going nowhere, nigga.
Oh, okay.
Shit. I'm still in here trying to goddamn make Gary a flat earther, and I ain't turning the fuck.
Real talk. Does anybody else in here understand or agree with evolution in here, or is it just me?
Evolution is a motherfucking fantasy, bro.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
But you know what I believe in? I believe in devolution. Let me explain that. I believe in devolution. And I believe we devolve because of the shit we've been consuming over the years. We are devolving. Our offsprings
are believe in something that doesn't make sense.
I believe that. I believe that's how DNA works. I believe shit when you look at a dog and you get a purebred dog, that motherfucking dog is a fucking fullbred, bro. And you mix it down and you keep mixing it down, what you gonna end up with ain't gonna be no full blood, whatever it is. You hear what I'm saying? So like with DNA, I believe all the foods and the GMOs, the genetically modified fucking food. Who the fuck ever would have thought we would accept genetically modified foods? But, like nigga, if you'd have rewound time to the year 2000 and somebody told you that shit, you would have been on some shit like, bro, like nigga, I ain't gonna never believe they're gonna be putting no genes or no genetics or modifying the genetics of actual food. Like I would have never thought that.
Yeah, but listen, evolution has to do more with population mechanics, so it only happens via generations. It wouldn't happen like within a single organism.
Yeah, I know that. That's what I'm saying. You're right. It will happen over time. Devolution happens over periods of time. Yeah,
right. But there is no goal in evolution, so there's no up or down when it involves evolution. It's just change, no matter which.
There is up and down. What are you talking about? When you played Pokemon and you had a damn motherfucking Charmander and that motherfucker evolved, he went up. That motherfucker grew. He got bigger and he got stronger. But when he devolved, when the motherfucking monsters devolve, they go down to their original form or to their base form. So it is up and down, bro. When you think about it.
Right, but that's not how biological evolution works. Because
how do you know it ain't how biological evolution works? How do you know that?
Because when we're talking about evolution, the one that you say you don't believe in, that's how it works. Normally, there's no goal in evolution, right? You're not trying to reach a specific type of organism. So,
the evolution that I believe in is spiritual evolution. So, I think there is an evolution involved with our existence, but I don't think it's the way they explaining it. It's more so.
But what you're saying is the evolution you're describing has an end goal. Biological evolution doesn't have an end goal. It simply changes as and it adapts towards the environment.
That's called adaptation. Adapting to your environment. That's not your evolution.
No, that is evolution. You can call it adaptation, whatever you want, but it's evolution because it's change over time. What happens is you get allele frequencies which change over time.
I mean, I guess you could say that.
I mean, even different aspects. If you don't believe in evolution, how do you explain speciation?
Different species of the same type of animal.
No,
that's true. No, that's the same thing. That's what you just said. Speciation is the study of different species.
No, speciation is when an organism reaches speciation.
What?
man,
how are you gonna use the word in the definition?
Okay. Speciation, evolution isn't like a single thing. It's like a process. There's different points in it, and one point is
there you lose, bro.
There you go.
Hold on. Listen. At some point, you reach what's known as speciation, and that's when the offspring can no longer interbreed with the parent species.
I'm thinking that's more like some of the stuff that happens through chain is through gene mutation, and then I understand
or kind of like when a donkey, right. What is it when a donkey has sex with a horse and they make a mule, and then a mule can't have sex with the donkey, and they can't make offspring. I know what you're talking about.
But that's called a speciation.
Right. Okay, but what does it have to do with us? I mean.
Yeah, I don't know.
What did that have to do with what Trigger was talking about? I mean,
exactly.
I'm on point, man. You ain't gonna catch me slipping, man.
Listen, exactly what happened with the mule, where the mule, unfortunately, with the mule, it becomes infertile. It can't mute with any other mules, horses, or donkeys. That species would die off. But we don't see that in every species.
Say it again.
The mule species would die off because they can't interbreed with any other species, not even themselves. So that species would die off, but we don't see that in every species.
What mule species? What are you talking about?
Well, okay, a horse and a donkey can have sex and make a mule, but a mule can't have sex with a mule and make a baby.
Oh, right. That tells you right there. You said a mule.
A mule can't have sex with a mule, a horse, or a donkey and have offspring.
Yeah. A mule can't have offspring, but a horse and a donkey can have sex together and make a mule.
Right, but a mule, they're unviable. They can't. Yeah, they can't.
It's just like a tiger and a lion. They can make offspring, but then their offspring can't mate with nothing else.
Right. They went through speciation.
Yeah, it's like that. They're not fertile. Well, it's just like Neanderthals. When Neanderthals,
they lose. But you know what? Yeah, but that's not evolution. I think that's just survival of the fittest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I said, that's why I didn't believe in evolution.
Hold on. Well, if I can finish explaining, at some point that happens in just naturally happens. It doesn't have to happen where human beings are trying to breed two animals together, but it happens naturally in nature.
And they realized mules was a better farm animal than a horse or a donkey because you can tame a mule better than a donkey or a horse.
Right, but what happens in nature is once you get to a speciation event, you create two separate gene pools, but they're almost identically the same species. But since there's two separate gene pools, they'll experience different evolutionary paths. So what happens to this species may be completely different. What happens in the other genes, gene pool.
And the animal might have instincts from both animals, like a liger. Right. A liger is like a lion and tiger inbred. That's all.
You telling me a liger can't go
a liger can't have offspring. But
are y'all sure, man?
Yeah.
Man. That's how you end up. That's how you end up with frogs that have horns on them, and some of them don't have. I wouldn't bullshit with the ones who develop horns will take a completely different evolutionary path and either develop more horns, but then you might have one that doesn't develop horns, but instead
I wouldn't call that evolutionary path. I mean, that's just a genetic path. That's how you get a mule. You know, you gotta have a fucking horse and a donkey to mate to get a mule. I mean,
that's like I look at it like that. But that process,
I wouldn't call it evolution. I wouldn't call that evolution. I wouldn't call the process evolution. I wouldn't call it that.
Hey, y'all just talking over each other, man. Let me ask y'all a question.
Yeah.
A donkey is different. Is it in a different family than the horse?
I don't think so. I don't believe it.
I know they look alike, but
they're the same species.
Does that just automatically? I don't think that just automatically make them the same family. Because I mean,
they're the same species.
You look at a tree.
They're the same species.
So only species can interbreed with each other.
Just like tigers and lions can mate.
Yeah, they're the same species. All species
Right.
can
So I'm
interbreed.
saying,
If they can't interbreed, they're
not all.
different species.
so what I'm saying is,
too much. Not all species can interbreed. No.
Yes, by definition, that's why they call it.
No.
Well, what makes something a different species when they can't interbreed, right?
Identifying them from their features.
No, when they can no longer.
It's not based off of it's not based off of their ability to listen. It's not based off of their ability to reproduce or not, because you got humans that can't fucking have kids. That don't change the fact that they're human.
Not infertile. When they're no longer genetically compatible.
Humans because of our features. Animals identify as animals.
I'm not talking about.
Guess what? So you telling me a mule can't mate with another mule?
No.
Yeah, it can mate with another mule, but
no,
that's what I was about to say.
It'll be sterile. They can have sex,
right?
But they can't.
Yeah, they can have babies. Yeah, they can't breed. They can't have babies. They can have sex, but they can't have babies.
Yeah, they can't have babies. Mules can't have babies. Only horses and donkeys can make mules. It's crazy. It's like the mixed breed, just like a liger. A liger is like a mixed breed between a tiger and a lion.
Yeah, but a species in biology means that a species changes into a different species when it no longer.
No. What does the species in biology mean? First, finish your first statement before you go to the next one, brother.
Well, a species in biology means that usually that it's two genetically compatible organisms that can interbreed. Once that changes, that means that they no longer can interbreed. You have a separate species because they no longer can interbreed.
Let me explain what species really is. Species really is a different organism with a different set of genetic makeup, period. Point blank, period.
Right.
If your genetic makeup if you grow hair down your back in a mohawk naturally, you a different motherfucking species. Just because you look like a human, you a different species of a human. If you grow hair down your motherfucking back in a mohawk,
and then they'll adapt to your kid, and then your kid has long hair like that.
I'm sorry.
Right. And your kid is a crossbreed of two different species.
I'm not going. Hold on. The definition I'm giving you is not my definition. This is the definition that's within the literature. You may have your own separate definition.
That's literature, bro.
But if you're talking about, hold on. But if you're talking about what they mean when they talk about evolution, the thing that you say you don't believe is real, I'm going within the literature. I'm not going outside of the literature.
But you're still telling us what you got from the literature. That's different from what I got from that literature.
I'm telling you. Hold on, but that's what it says. It says that when that a different species means that it can no longer interbreed with its parent species. That means that's when that's a speciation event. That's when it separates.
All right, so that makes that okay. So a frog is a bull is a different species from a goat because it can no longer breed with a damn parent goat. Is that what you're telling me? It's not correct. The fact that they look totally different.
Well, no, they're no longer genetically compatible, so they're a different species.
But they never were genetically compatible.
What's not?
A fucking goat, a goat and a bull was never motherfucking compatible. So
they were already different. Even apply. Yeah, they were already different species to start out with. You named two different species, right?
Exactly. No, a mule is different from a horse.
Hold on, let me give you an example. There's a breed of salamander that's run up and down the Sahara Nevada desert. They're all salamanders, right? But once you go from the northern to the southern end of the Sierra Nevada desert, those salamanders start to branch off, and the ones that's on the northern tip can't interbreed with the ones on the southern tip because they have two totally different genetic makeups now, and they
change their genetic makeup over time because they
evolved over time. Now they have two separate gene pools that have developed into two separate species. So those two species their gene pools will be locked out of each other, which means they will have different characteristics from this one. And if we were to come back in like 5,000 years, they'll probably be look completely different. You might not even consider both of them to be salamanders due to the changes they had over time. One you may still consider the salamander, the other one may look more like a frog. but they started as the same species. But since they separated and they now have two different gene pools, and they adapt to the environments differently as they go, and they won't have the same changes. They'll end up looking completely different.
What does that have? What does that have to do with me telling you?
No, I was just asking you, if you don't believe in evolution, how do you account for speciation?
Why does that have anything to do with what I'm talking about? Hold up, knowledge. I got it. Why does that have anything to do with what I was talking about, Gary?
That did. You said you didn't believe in evolution, remember?
But why did I say that? Because you asked me that question you just asked again. I'm asking you, why did you ask me that question in the beginning? Because it has nothing to do with
because I wanted to know. We wasn't talking about anything. Everybody had just left.
First thing I said was I'm trying to make Gary a flat earther. And I ain't turned it down. And some shit like that. You came up with that damn question. Like,
I just asked the question, am I the only one in here who accepts evolution? And you made the statement that it was, I guess, stupid or trash or whatever. Usually,
I don't think we come from no motherfucking monkey.
It's depending on your.
I ain't come from no monkey, Gary. Did you come from a monkey?
Evolution doesn't say you came from a monkey.
Yes, it does. Look at
that. That would violate
evolution. This is why I don't trust the
evolution right now.
This is why I don't trust the
government. They will have a fucking picture of a monkey evolving into a white man.
This is why I don't believe the government. This is exactly why, Gary, because they tell your ass something at the beginning of your life. Then when you get older, they tell you, "Oh no, we meant this when we told you that. We meant this shit." But then you get older, and then they tell you, "Oh, I know we told y'all this 30 years ago, but we really meant this." I can't stand them motherfuckers, boy. You gonna learn that shit in your life. You're gonna keep going back on this word.
Do you understand? We didn't even find the mechanism for evolution until Charles Darwin.
It don't matter. In my science books, Gary, and your science books, in my science books and your science books, they had exactly what Knowledge just said. The monkey growing up to the damn white man.
Yes, we had concepts early on.
There was the end that them species died off. That doesn't necessarily.
I think it's just
if that's not
evolution, it's not evolution. They were already here, but they died off.
Yeah, I think it's the way it's classified. The way it's classified sounds silly, but I think that ape that you guys talking about, the monkey that evolved into the white man, that's the white man. I don't think that's related to the black man, because human is not a race; it's a species, and I think Neanderthal is something totally different.
Yeah, Neanderthal.
I think it goes by the skull shape.
As Homo sapiens.
We are the black man is the original Homo sapiens. The Neanderthal is a whole different species that we have made with our albinos that we had. That's my belief, though.
Right, but
hold the fuck up. Hold up.
Oh, I'm loving that.
Black folks,
if you can interbreed with Neanderthals,
black folks were never monkeys.
No,
hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up.
It doesn't say you were a monkey. It says you and apes have a common ancestor. That's totally different.
Right. But I'm talking about, but Neanderthals.
We have ancestors with similarities.
No, we have a common ancestry. See, when
no common ancestry, man.
Hold on, listen. When you're talking about DNA,
man, they have similarities, man.
No, they have a common.
Yeah, no, they have similarities.
They have similarities. You're gonna keep saying the same thing.
Just because you got a monkey that can stand upright, that's hairy and got hands, and
you doesn't mean. Thank you for showing you don't understand what the actual argument being put forth.
I'm gonna put 160, 160.
Yeah, I don't believe. I can't get myself to believe that us and the white man got the same common ancestor. I can't believe that.
Okay. Yes.
No, Neanderthals.
Hey man, y'all gotta be careful with the shit y'all saying, bro, because that shit don't make no damn sense, man.
Okay, listen. Look. The reason I say you got no proof is because every organism have a base genetic code, and it has specific markers that you can mark to show that from that ancestry, and we can show within our DNA and of course ape DNA that we have that base code.
Died.
All right. So what I'm telling you is basically what I'm telling you is, fuck it, man. It points back to black people. Shit, it's embarrassing. Yeah, man, it's embarrassing. But fuck it, bro. Like, obviously they're trying to tell us black people were fucking monkeys and came up with white people.
evolution. Hold on. You remember how I gave you the
sound
example?
like to me.
Hold on. Listen. You remember how I gave you the example of the salamanders on the Sierra Nevada desert? The ones on the northern and the southern end, they had separate genes. Right. But they all started from a base.
Relative. No.
Hold on. Listen. Hold on. But they all started from a base organism. Now, years down the line, after they changed, they got two separate gene pools. They will grow differently and end up being two different organisms because they have separate gene pools. But they both started from that base salamander. It's the same thing in that in the example of humans and apes.
So how
we
can
had
you
a similar species that wasn't ape and it wasn't a human, but from that organism, you get both apes and humans. But they
listen,
want
that. Listen, bro, D. That don't make no fucking sense, man. You know it don't. Don't tell me, man. My brother by speciation that you talking is an ape, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm not gonna deny it. I'm not gonna say because they are close to us as far as how they look and shit. But I'm gonna tell you this, bro. Shit, it's apes out there in the jungle smarter than half our motherfucking ass. And I'm gonna tell you like this.
Let me tell you something. Recently, it was discovered that the difference between us and apes seems to be a single chromosome 2.
What is chromosome 2?
Yeah, I heard about it. It's a fusion in human DNA. Then that's the reason why apes have more chromosomes than humans. In our DNA, that chromosome is fused.
It causes an ape to look like an ape and a human to look like a human.
Necessarily.
No, and it can influence the thinking of the
that seed of free will.
And that's a chromosome 2 fusion that has been confirmed.
Man, look, man.
Why do we have to be related to anything? Why can't just some
that's what I said too.
Why do we just can't have some things in common?
I'm gonna tell you
without being related. Like for example, like whales,
that's not reality.
Like some like
how do you know that?
Like
hold on, one person at a time. Respect the panel. One person at a time.
Right, like whales are mammals, right?
Correct.
Like we are, right? But are we related to them more than we are any other type of fish? You understand what I'm saying? Just because they're warm-blooded.
If you go back far enough in our base DNA, we probably have there's a small bit in our base DNA that's probably the same, but there's so much time that's been between our evolution and their evolution that, you'd have to go way back in their base DNA to find that code.
Right, but I'm saying it's okay to have similarities without saying that we evolved from it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right. We're not saying you evolved from it. You evolved alongside it. That'd be a better way to say it.
Right, but that doesn't mean that we actually evolved from that particular species.
Right. No, we not that species. That's the species. That's the indigo.
Or any other type. Because I think that's what people are thinking, and because I don't believe that either. Like that we evolved from. I just think that if we all come from one source, we're all going to have similarities.
Exactly. Right. I believe it.
Right. And that's fine. That's what we're saying. We both apes and humans came from a source organism, but it wasn't an ape or a human. It was neither one. And that species has died off since then. And we've both taken our evolutionary path. And we evolved differently as we evolved alongside each other.
How you know that species died off? How you know that motherfucker just left?
Man, that's what you believe. Man, there is no missing link between apes and man. I don't believe that. See? I know where you're going. It hasn't been proven, but yet in theory, it has.
I ain't gonna say it's not. Look, let me talk. Hold up. I ain't gonna say it ain't no missing link. I'm gonna just say that the missing link ain't around us right now.
Yeah, it hasn't been proven. We haven't seen the missing link. Everybody been trying to.
Let me tell you something that you can do. Let me tell you something you can do. You can take a human
because they tried to say the Homo erectus was a missing link, but was it? No.
Didn't we come from the Homo erectus?
Well, first of all, you're probably talking about
we didn't.
Hold on, you're probably
Homo
talking about
it was more of the primate family.
Yeah, you're probably talking about.
But I think it was a different species other than primate. It was a species of its own. If you ask me,
you're talking about
that became extinct and died out, right? Is that what happened?
I don't think it was gorilla or orangutan. I don't think it was part of that family. It was a species of its own, like we are.
Go ahead, Gary.
Go ahead,
Gary. Oh,
Well, the thing is that you're talking about transitional forms. Now, everybody who's alive is a transitional form because you're another generation. Every generation is a transitional form. So what we're saying is if you keep going back generation over generation over generation, that at some point you get back to the species that kind of split off that caused to have apes and then of course humans. But that's over probably billions of
Who's to say this was one
generations.
species that split off?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Anytime you look at a species, you can see their base DNA, and that base DNA changes over time. But there are certain genetic markers that are always present. That's how they do paternity tests.
Yeah,
Because that
that's
base
true,
DNA,
but not all
right? Because
DNA.
that base DNA will always be there. Us and apes have the same base DNA. It's just like if you look at our DNA, you can tell that at some point our bodies used to be able to produce their own vitamin C, but that gene is now broken. It's broken in the exact same way in both organisms because we used to live in an environment that had a vitamin C rich environment. We probably used to eat a lot of oranges and lemons and stuff wherever
Right.
our original ancestors used to live.
Okay, I have a question. Then, do you think? Because I'm just thinking that we all could have been the same species. Do you think like a clownfish and an anchovy came from one place, or were they always the same type of fish from the beginning to now?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look at their DNA, but most fish do seem to have a base DNA in which they started from. But you have to be careful because some organisms have a similar look, but they're completely different. Like if you look at foxes, most people would think of foxes as a dog, but really it isn't. It's closer to a hyena or a cat. Or I'm sorry, not a I'm sorry. It's closer to a weasel or a ferret. Foxes, even though they look like dogs. Most people would never put walruses, bears, and dogs in the same category, but we know based on their DNA that they all evolved from the same base animal.
Right. Is a seal in that group with the walrus, or is a seal totally different than a
No,
walrus?
seal. You are correct. A seal, a walrus, a bear, and
Okay.
a dog all evolved from the same uh, base species. You can even see aspects of it in each one of the animals, even down to the seals and the walruses having kind of a bark to them.
See, because when I hear that, it sounds like that there's no that evolution is saying there's no way that they could have been individually, that there's not similar, that there has to be a connection.
There is a
And
connection.
right.
It's just
And
that
I'm always
all those species branch off. That once they start branching off and they have their separate gene pool, and they just start having that evolution, and based on the region in which they live in,
No,
you'll never
man.
know what they'll end up looking like.
Every
right,
species were their own individual
like a lemon and an
species.
orange,
Or
like a
it's
lemon
my
and an orange
opinion.
and a grapefruit look similar to me more so than a banana does, but I don't know if it means that they're the same thing. I mean, they
Well,
have
I'm not that sure about plant evolution is
right.
similar to I mean, it's still biological evolution, but yes, plants do evolve just like any other biological organism. I mean, we even have plant species that are extinct, of course.
So, all right, so yeah, so it seems like if they have similarities, they've had to come from the same place.
Well, yeah. Yeah, basically that's the first thing you would notice is some genetic similarities. But like I said, you have to be careful because you can be fooled. Just like I said with the foxes, you would think a fox is a dog, but a fox isn't a dog. It's closer to a weasel or, like I said, a ferret.
Y'all know what a honey badger is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen those before. Yeah.
Motherfucking honey badger so goddamn tough. That motherfucker don't give a fuck if you 30 times his size. He gonna jump up and do some shit to your ass. Like,
damn right.
That go to show you, like, now what family that motherfucker from? Like,
I'm not sure. I had to look it up.
Yeah,
Ain't
man.
that family too?
Come here. You say what?
Ain't that from the weasel family too?
More than that probably is, to be honest.
Possibly. Just like I said, you have to be like I didn't know that. I thought a fox was a dog. I didn't know like foxes can't interbreed with dogs at all.
How you know that?
Because foxes aren't dogs.
Have you ever tried it?
I used to have a fox, yeah.
Really? Where you get one of them from? I always want one too.
All right.
Real talk, I want one too.
So
I didn't even know.
So a fox is different from a wolf, then, right? It's not part of like the Canis lupus or.
Nope.
Man, hey, where you get that fox from?
My stepdaughter got it. Somebody gave it to her, and we thought it was a dog at first, and I'm like, "This is a funny looking dog," you know. And we thought the dog was going to get pregnant because the dog next door kept having sex with it. It was like, that dog, we thought the dog was pregnant, and somebody told us this isn't a dog, this is a fox. Y'all ain't even supposed to have this, because it's a fur-bearing animal, and they're restricted in our community. You have to have like a license to have that kind of animal. Yeah, you have to check. Make sure you check your local laws, because some laws you're not allowed to have stuff like foxes and stuff like that.
Yeah, you gotta be a Pokemon trainer to own a fox, bro. You gotta be registered, bro.
I don't know why to have exotic animals. Some cities.
No, real talk. I always wanted a fox, though.
It was a really cute little dog. It was real nice. It was very loyal. I never had any trouble with it. Some jackass ran over it out here in front of my house. So other than that, yeah, we love that dog. It was real cute. Never got real big. Just a real good dog. Well, but it wasn't a dog. But
bad mental image. Bad mental image, Gary.
Yeah.
So do you think then that because I know Darwin. I mean Darwin. He had because evolution is really a theory. All I know is he was on an island with a bunch of finches, and I'm not sure exactly what he did.
Well, this is a common misconception about Darwin. Most people think Darwin came up with evolution. Evolution was already out. There was just a little question. There was one question with evolution that Darwin kind of found. Darwin found the mechanism for evolution, because before Darwin, it was survival of the fittest, which didn't really make that much sense, and it was kind of holding evolution back. But that got replaced with natural selection, which made way more sense than survival of the fittest. Because survival of the fittest, if survival of the fittest was right, then you would have to explain how you have normal house cats that are around out in abundance, but you got a saber-toothed tiger that died off. Wouldn't the saber-toothed tiger be the more fittest animal to survive?
I think sometimes they would say, I guess, based on maybe smaller animals were able to hide behind some different things. I guess that kind of depends. Like if you had a giraffe and the giraffe didn't have any trees that it couldn't eat, then it would have to bend it. You know what I mean?
So that's why you get natural select. That's why natural selection. That's what Darwin discovered actually took over. Because what Darwin discovered is that the animal that is more fit for the environment in which it lives actually survives. So in an environment where it's better to be a small, nimble cat, the common house cat survived. But to be a big, bulky, saber-toothed tiger in that environment, well, you didn't make it. You died off. And it had nothing to do with whether or not the animal was the more fittest. It had to be which one was best.
Right. I would also think but I would think those bigger animals probably got killed off too, maybe because they were dangerous, whereas people probably took the smaller ones in as pets and domesticated them.
Well, we're talking about mainly out in nature. So the saber-toothed tiger would have to fight some of the bigger animals in its, bigger predators. And being so big, it just, being so many more predators, saber-toothed tiger lost out. Where you have the small common house cats that's probably small enough to be fit in small areas and avoid being eaten.
Right.
When being a bigger cat, that might not be advantageous.
Ask yourself this: they got proof of a saber-toothed tiger, but what about a saber-toothed lion?
I don't know. I'd have to look up. I've never heard of a saber-toothed lion.
Because you know what? I think the saber-toothed tiger is man-made.
But how?
Crossbreeding.
Well, how you know it's real?
I think crossbreeding. I think they're crossbreeding lions.
The human race has only been purported to be around for about 250,000 years. The saber-toothed tiger lived,
Keyword reported.
18 billion? Yeah, based on our information, we haven't found any human being remains that are lower.
Because you want to know what kind of.
Somebody tell me what kind of
goddamn search.
They said it could be as much as 500,000 years, but 250,000 for sure.
Could you imagine trying to find something from 250,000 years ago?
Depending on what it is.
What kind of evidence could you be looking for from a million something years ago?
Well, when you're digging in strata, it is very hard. You are correct. It is very hard to make a fossil. So it's incredible what we have found.
Right. So my question would be then, when they say that humans are 250,000 years or whatever, is that in the current form that we're in right now, or is that like Neanderthal and Negroid and whatever else?
Well, I don't know about Negroid, but Neanderthals are considered to be Homo sapiens. We are considered to live alongside them, possibly a subspecies of Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, but they died off, or they were either crossbred out via humans.
So, all right. So then, because then I'm trying to think. Then, if that's the case, then we in our current form were always here, right? Along next to some of these other, like you say, Neanderthals and whatever else.
Right. Well, like I said, once you get to the separate gene pools, they start to branch off. So there could have been even another set of humanoids or Homo sapiens that died off that didn't make it, and then of course our set made it, and then Neanderthals made it a little bit longer and before they died off. But once again, with the fact that how hard it is to even make a fossil, there could be a whole other set of humanoid species that didn't even make it. It's amazing.
Yeah. See, because I'm hearing silly things too, like white people being smarter than black people because their brains are bigger than black people's brains, and goofy stuff like that because they come from this Neanderthal people that had bigger or larger skulls.
But Neanderthals are dumb.
Things.
Yeah, but well, and another thing that Neanderthals are believed to have lived up near the European.
You know how smart you gotta be to live in a motherfucking cave in them type of environments and survive.
They don't think we originated in caves.
Shit, you ever tried to look for some motherfucking edible shit in the mountain or a cave? Nigga, you gotta be smart as shit to find that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing a lot of different things. You probably heard some of that stuff these days, like the IQ test and different things. Like I had heard one. I was talking to my brother about this the other day. They said somebody was saying, I might have mentioned this to Knowledge before too, that they were talking about if you were to raise a black child with a white family and a white family with a black child, that the white child would still be smarter than the black kid because of that's the same thing I was saying. But this is like the stuff that I'm hearing that's being thrown out there.
And the thing about it is, you're right. You're right. And the reason why.
You ever seen Wilson documentary?
Which one? Which documentary is this again?
It's Dr. Frances Quest Wealth.
Oh yeah, I know who she is. I know. I probably didn't see that documentary, but I know exactly who she is.
Yeah, she was going against this one guy who basically claimed that like white people are more superior and all that.
Oh yeah. Was that on a talk show?
Yeah. Once again, how would you even determine which one is more superior? Just like I say, evolution doesn't have a goal. So
as soon as you start talking about what race is superior, you're already lost.
Exactly.
Because first of all, color of the skin don't fucking matter.
Don't mean shit.
The races is simply a social construct.
Right, but remember that. But with evolution, you're now black people and white people are evolutionarily different, right?
Well, no, we would be the same.
Hold on. There is a possibility.
Well, we don't have different gene pools. We're within the same gene pool. Our gene pool isn't different because humans.
Because I think when
to be honest, you want to know something? How do we know that?
Isn't it by? Don't they judge by skull shapes? Like depending on your size, they can go by your skull to tell you which
what you are descended
part
from.
Of.
Yeah.
Yep. But they said the factors that drive those are going to be there's going to be natural selection, right? The environment we live in is what our genetic triggers flip on and off based on our environment, how we survive, right?
So if you were to see a skull like a skeleton, you wouldn't know which one belonged to an African or which one belonged.
Oh no, some cultures will. Some cultures can.
Yeah, right. So there has to be a difference there.
There is. That's why they got the Skull and Bones Society, bro.
Well, hold on. It kind of goes back to what Charles Darwin saw when he was on the Galapagos Islands. One island he had finches with small beaks, and then the other one he had finches with big beaks, right?
But he was talking about birds, man. He wasn't talking about humans. He was talking about
right, but you can take what you learned from those birds and apply it to humans. So what happened is
we're not birds.
Hold on, let him talk.
So what happened is if a bird had a big beak and it bred with another bird with a big beak, their offspring would more than likely have a big beak as well. So in the case of the humans with bigger, thicker skulls, if you breed with another human who also has the trait of a bigger, thicker skull, your offspring will more than likely have a bigger, thicker skull. You see what I mean?
All right, so here's a wrench in the plan. Let's say you got a bird with a big beak and another bird with a little beak.
Right.
You're telling me that the bird with the big beak automatically got dominant genes and the offspring gonna have that big beak?
No. Usually, what happens is, in the case of Charles Darwin on the island, there was a nut that the birds ate on that island, and if you had a small beak, you were less likely to be able to eat the nut. So the birds who were on the island were able to eat easily because they had bigger beaks, which means that usually the birds that survived on that island had big beaks. So all their offspring kept having big beaks. That's why all the birds on that island had bigger beaks than the ones on the other island, where it didn't require you to eat the larger nuts to survive.
Right. So the ones with the smaller beaks would have had to have died off.
Right, on that particular island.
But wouldn't that be adaptation, or wouldn't those smaller birds just move to the other island?
That's survival of the fittest, man.
Well,
yeah, that is survival of the fittest.
Right, the ones that are more fit for that environment, they were selected naturally by.
But you want to know something? This is what I believe. I believe those two finches are two different types of finches. But the thing about them is the finches with the small beaks, they have other things that they can eat as well to sustain them. I don't believe in that theory that they just die off and the creator created things that just can't withstand itself in its natural habitat. I don't believe that.
Well, more than likely what would happen is the finches with the smaller beaks will be more prone to stay on this island, and then the competition for food, the ones with the larger beaks will go to the other island because they wouldn't have to compete as much because their big beak gave them an advantage on that island. But also, with the male and female birds on the big beak birds on that island where the food is abundant and there's less birds, and then of course they would breed and have offspring.
Basically, go 5 minutes up the street right quick.
So birds
pedal down right quick.
Okay. So birds of a feather. So birds of a feather flock together, and those same birds would recreate amongst each other.
Right. They would repopulate among each other, which means they would have similar offspring, and their offspring would have more than likely their characteristic, which means all those birds, children, will more than likely have the bigger beaks.
Right. Tinkara was getting ready to say something real quick before I think we accidentally cut him. What were you about to say, Tinkara?
Oh, I was just saying the thing is that the reason why all this stuff is pertained to humans is because when Charles Darwin was going to the Galapagos Islands, he actually seen a group of brothers and sisters in wintertime with no clothes on and harsh winter down in South America, right? Nearby the Antarctica. And the thing is that once he wrote in his journals that these people are our ancestors. They have to be our ancestors. That's what he wrote, right? And then the thing is,
what is he saying?
They want to say that we're the whole evolution shit is from birds. Like, come on, man. He wasn't pertaining us to birds at all. He wasn't even talking about humans.
No, he was drawing the parallels that within a species that you would be that the changes in that organism is due to natural selection. That's what Charles Darwin discovered. He didn't discover evolution. He discovered the mechanism for evolution.
How's this? If I go down to the States right now, I see that there are really, really big brothers and really strong sisters, okay? Now, how is it possible that we just don't get rid of all these weak-ass people that's around us then?
What do you mean weak?
I'm saying
there ain't no such thing.
Hold on for a second. Let me see. I'll take off my clothes and go in the Sahara Desert, and we'll get another Caucasian guy to do the same thing, go in the Sahara Desert, and we'll see which one lasts along. Natural selection.
I mean, you can use the same. You can use the same. Hold on. That point is reversed because if I took my black ass out in the damn Swiss Alps and with no clothes on, and took a white man up to the Swiss Alps with no damn clothes on, he gonna last longer than me.
Actually, I don't think so.
He won't.
Yeah, he would. Yes, he would. The people don't like the cold, bro.
I've met Eskimos darker than me. Okay,
that don't mean they liked it.
Family is dark. Well, that's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's
well, there's no guarantee in either environment which one of y'all would be more.
Listen, natural selection was already based off racism and the color, and trying to say a black person came from an ape at the end of the day.
No, but no, it didn't.
Well, why they have it on the same goddamn page in the science textbook then?
What are you talking about?
That shit was on the same page. I remember that shit.
I don't even know what.
Come on, my point exactly.
It was on the same page, bro.
On the same motherfucking page. You can't deny it, man.
What are you talking about? Crap. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the fact that we came from monkeys, and that Charles Darwin shit you talking about was on the same goddamn page in my science book.
There's no page.
And then they had the definition of survival of the fittest on in like the second paragraph or some shit like that.
We don't. Once again, I don't know how old your book was, but nobody uses survival of the fittest. It's evolution.
Shit, my nigga, I'm 28. How old are you?
I am 39.
Well, shit. When you was growing up, shit done changed since then, homie. When I was growing up, that's the fuck was in my science book.
How is your science book less advanced than mine? I'm older than you.
No, my science book. What do you mean? That shit. You ask your government that shit.
Man, I don't know what you went to.
I'm thinking natural. You know what? Natural selection and survival of the fittest seem like the same thing to me. I think Darwin was just twisting things just to take credit for something that might have already existed. I'm not sure if he knew what he was talking about.
That sounds like some divine knowledge given to your ass to tell us that shit.
Well, hold on, but how would natural selection be the same? Survival of the fittest is based on how fit the organism is
in the natural element of their environment.
That's the same thing. Survival of the fittest, natural selection. Think about it.
Exactly.
Think about it. If you're looking at survival of the fittest, you're looking for the natural selection of the most dominant species of being of the thing. Listen to what you're saying, man. Listen to what you're saying.
Then you're not understanding the
What's survival of the fittest then, Gary?
Okay, survival of the fittest is that the organism is the more fit organism. It has nothing to do with
it's dominant. It's dominant. Survival of the fittest at the end of the day is dominant. You can beat around the bush and say all those inconspicuous things, but at the end of the day, it's dominant.
Will survive what is considered a not as fit organism, no matter what the environment is. Natural selection says the animal that is more fit for that environment will survive. It doesn't matter.
See, it's the same thing.
No, it doesn't matter if the organism is faster.
What did I do?
It has a tougher or harder shell on it. None of that matters.
Gary, you using semantics.
If it can, I am not using.
Yeah, it's the same thing, man.
It is not the same thing. One is based on whether or not the organism is the strongest and the fittest.
All right. So hold up.
Which one can survive?
Example. Lion in the jungle. Check. The lion in the jungle, more fit to survive. It can basically wipe out any animal it want to. Next, okay. All right. So next example. You said natural selection. Give me an example.
Okay. So if you take a lion and you put him in the desert, he is not more fit to survive in the desert. He will die in the desert. He'll probably be the first person to die with all that fur on. But you take another animal that's more fit to survive in the desert, say an armadillo, it will survive better than a lion in the desert. But an armadillo won't survive as better in a jungle as a lion.
Now that shit do make sense when you explain it like that.
I put an article in the back chat.
That do make sense when you explain it like that, Gary.
It's about Charles Darwin and his notes when it came to natural selection.
But it depends on the environment. Right. So the environment determines of how fit they're going to be.
Correct. Not it has nothing to do with the organism. It has all to do with whether or not that
makes a lot of sense now, because now you say it like that. For example, we're apex predators, so we are one of the fittest to survive more than most animals. But hold on, let me finish.
You're gonna be an apex predator in the ocean.
Let me finish, man. Damn. So as soon as your ass be floating your ass, just like I was about to say, in the middle of the ocean, that shit goes out the water, like literally out the window. Like you being an apex predator don't matter at that point, because we're not fit to actually be having an advantage in that arena, in that environment. So that makes a lot of sense in that sense.
Right, but when you talk about natural selection, usually all the species are where they're supposed to be in the first place, unless somehow somebody took them out of that environment.
Right.
Hold on for a second.
So it seems like they should.
What?
You put a human in the ocean, man, they're overfishing, bro. They're killing every single thing.
Dude, without a boat, you need a boat, though. A shark don't need a boat to wipe your ass out. You need a boat to wipe a shark out. You need that boat. You can't go your ass out there swimming thinking you Aquaman and try to fight a shark. You can't.
Correct.
You just can't, bro. Like, it don't matter how big and strong you is, bro. Like,
we're talking about your biological function.
Yeah, what you were created, what environment you were created to be in. Like, we were created to be land dwellers. Now we can develop things to help us become nautical dwellers, you know.
Okay, so when Darwin did this without ships, without anything like that, guess what? We're weak as fuck.
Right, he's right. A bear would kick your ass.
Listen. We're not weak as fuck, because our strongest asset is the fact that we have the power to think and create tools.
Hold on.
Like that's where our strength is at. It's not about physical strength.
The boat is a tool. That's what I'm saying. So you're just basically not going back on your word, man.
So I'm not, bro. You said this is what you. I need to explain myself, bro, because you not understand what I'm saying. All right. So what I'm saying is, the boat is a tool. You're right. We do need that. You're right. But what I'm saying is, what makes us apex predators? What makes us apex predators at the top of the food chain is our ability to adapt to our environments and create things to help us to adapt to that environment. That's why we have scuba divers. Hold on, bro. Shit, man. Listen, that's why we have scuba divers, bro, because they motherfucking created some tools to help us go underwater and see shit. Like, we couldn't even go underwater and open our eyes till scuba diver gear came out, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying.
We're weak as fuck.
Well, he's right about that. There are animals.
It depends on your definition of weak.
That's what. Okay, check this out. If you were born as a baby, right, and I put you out in any environment, you're dead.
That's not true. That's not true. Hold on. That's not true. That is not true. That's not true. And I'll prove it to you now, man. Hold on. Let me tell you right now. Listen, man. That's what they want you to believe. But
no, that's
what they want you to believe. Listen, bro, they have so many cases where motherfuckers in third world countries have found babies that grew up in the jungles, nigga. Grew up in the jungles. They were born. Their parents are dead. They were left for dead. These kids survived in the jungle to the point where they can walk back to these villages, and these motherfucking villages have to lock them up and call the United States of America, because that's who comes out and save every goddamn body. So they call the United States of America to come by and deal with the shit, bro. Like, this is what it is, bro. Like, they hide shit like that from you.
Human babies don't even start walking for almost 3 or 4 months. Dogs.
Listen, man.
They start walking within 2 weeks.
Listen, man. I'm telling you, it's possible for a baby to survive in a fucking jungle. So don't just say that humans cannot survive without aid, because animals will aid your baby ass until your ass understand them and they understand you. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. There are animals out there. There are animals out there that can sense when you, as a human baby, are in need and in danger, and they will fucking help and save your ass, bro.
Talking about aid. Now you're talking about aid. You're talking about an animal aiding you. I'm talking about put a baby out in the freaking.
If I took a fucking baby gorilla, if I took a baby gorilla in a if I took a baby gorilla somewhere where his motherfucking parents wasn't and nowhere else was everybody there, he'd die too. What you mean?
Everything is that's what I'm trying to tell you. You're talking about tools. You're talking about aid. I'm talking we are weak as fuck when it comes down to it, man.
I don't agree though, because I don't agree with the way you're saying it. You make it seem like we ain't shit. Like hell no, like we are the shit.
Other animal, without aid of any other animal, that baby is fucked.
Yeah. Like most people don't know, like
what difference does that make though? What point is that proving? My point is, what point is that proving though? Like you're like a baby, okay? A baby gonna die anywhere.
The human race's biggest advantage is our ability to be cunning.
That's it.
It's not even that. It's not even that, bro. It's not even that. We are actual, bro. Have you ever walked?
We're not stronger than a bear. We can't see as well as owls and other creatures. Our ability to outsmart them is what gives us our advantage over them. We can outsmart snakes. We can outsmart bears.
No, it's our natural. It's our natural position in the fucking kingdom, man. These animals actually, literally, naturally respect us. We just haven't figured that out. Let me say something, bro, without getting cut off, man. I can't say 2 sentences without getting cut off in this motherfucker. Like, shit, hold on, my nigga. Like, look, that's all I'm trying to say. There are people that will show your ass proof where humans can walk into the most weirdest places with wild animals, bro. And these wild animals would just surround this human. Not giving it no negative energy, nothing. Just surrounding the human, being around it. Birds will fly up to the human. You know what I'm saying? Like rabbits will fly up, will hop up to the human. All of these animals at one time, different species. You as a human, that's the power you truly have in this world. Is to gain allies through the animals that exist here. But the reason why we don't know that is because long ago, we basically fucked that friendship up with animals by eating their ass, and they said, "Fuck y'all."
Animals eat each other, but
they had to because they still do.
They had to, and they still do because of what you. I'm gonna catch y'all later.
Yo, yeah, all right, cool. So look, like animals, bro. Like the reason why animals eat meat now is because the same reason what Gary was talking about, when through generations on generations, a species have changed their ways and traditions and shit. That's what happened through the animals, bro. Like when motherfuckers stopped eating plants like we were supposed to and started eating animals and meat and shit, we wasn't fertilizing the land like we used to. AKA we wasn't shitting on the damn ground with that nutrient shit. We was shitting that poison. And it was killing our crops, killing our fucking vegetation to the point where animals didn't have food. Shit was all unbalanced in the natural order of shit was all knocked off, just like they say in The Lion King, bro. The circle of life. Like anytime you fuck up the circle of life, that shit is a domino effect all the way down the line of the animal kingdom. So animals started getting malnourished and shit. And they started going crazy, and to the point where they turned into cannibals, aka they eating other animals and shit. So now you got lions and shit out here. They live in these areas where they can't find the real motherfucking food they supposed to eat. So all they can eat is what the fuck is running around out there. Like if you was a lion, you would probably hate life because all you see is gazelle running around. You know you want something good and sweet, but nigga, you can't eat nothing good and sweet because. You know, your ancestors fucked it up for you and everybody, all your cousins. Like all y'all got to eat now is like motherfucking salty ass meat for the rest of your life. Like you can't have nothing, and you got to drink water, and that's about it. Like you probably hate life as a lion, bro. To be honest, nowadays.
Yeah, you know, I was gonna say. Go ahead, Takara.
What do you think a lion ate that was sweet and good?
Shit, man, it's proof that lions used to eat apples. Lions used to eat oranges. Lions used to eat all the fruit that we eat. Lions used to it's proof that long ago, people in Africa used to tame lions like house cats. These cats used to be protectors of certain homes and shit.
Well, look what they do.
Let me finish. Let me fucking finish. Hold on, bro. Look, we used to fucking feed the fucking lions, bro. They used to be so tamed. You can lay your ass next to a lion and feed that motherfucker an apple, and he'll just yawn and lay his big ass head on your lap, and they would never think about biting your ass until that trend started where humans was hunting down animals, bro. It started by a group of dumb motherfuckers who came from nowhere wanting to change shit, and that's where the domino effect started, bro. And that was the fall of mankind, bro. When we broke our trust between us and the animals. When we broke that motherfucking trust, that's the fall of mankind, bro.
Yo, every single animal in the whole entire world can be tamed. Other than a freaking...
Every single animal in the world can communicate with the other animal. A jellyfish can communicate with a motherfucking ape. Now ask yourself what kind of conversations you think they're having. When a goat can talk to a rooster and a rooster can talk to a dog. Think about that for a minute. We look at every species like, oh, they sound different, so they can't understand each other. These motherfuckers naturally understand each other. Naturally. Like they naturally
your nonverbal cues and stuff like that. You know, what I was thinking with when he was talking about that natural selection, I'm still not convinced of that, just because of the way Darwin went to the island with the finches to test it. I think breeding had a lot to do with it, kind of like people did with pit bulls. You know, I knew cats that used to fight pit bulls back in the day, and they would look for the best ones to breed, and the ones that were strongest survived too. So I think breeding is another thing that probably has to go along with them. So I don't think that animals be in the environments that they shouldn't be in. So when you're taking these ones with bigger beaks or smaller beaks or whatever, those birds wouldn't have been on that island in the first place. They would have been.
That's why I asked him that question.
Check out the article I put in the back chat.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, we'll check that out.
But yeah, man, like
everybody's
like, bruh, we basically disconnected ourselves from the animal kingdom matrix and plugged ourselves into this man-made matrix to the point where we're totally disconnected from the natural matrix we was fucking made to be in. Like literally, you was able to walk up to a lion, that lion will look you in your eyes, and you look the lion in the eyes, and it would just rub his head up against your leg type shit. This is how we used to interact with these animals, bro. These creatures that we fear all day. These animals used to protect us. These animals used to help us understand things we didn't understand in nature. You know what I'm saying? That's why every animal got a role in society. Everyone got a role in society. We the only ones with free will fucking shit up. And that's why we at the top, because we got free will. That's the only reason why we at the top of the food chain, because we got a matter of choice. But see, the animals don't have a matter of choice because they follow our lead. So whatever we do and whatever consequences stem from that and aimed at their way, they have to abide by that law. So if we force animals to be carnivores, they don't have the choice to not be a carnivore. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
that's why. Yeah, and that's why you got some animals that are herbivores and have always been herbivores, because whatever took place in the animal kingdom to start them to be carnivores, it didn't affect certain animals. Like look at the elephant, for example. You can't even feed an elephant another animal.
But we're not carnivores or herbivores. We're necrovores, man.
We're bro, I don't even know what the hell that is, bro. Look, I just honestly believe we just made we are made to absorb nature, absorb fertilization, fertile motherfucking plants, bro, like ferns and shit. We're supposed to eat these things, bro, and they're supposed to help us grow. They're supposed to help us develop far beyond what we can understand. Like these plants and these fruits and these seeds and these grains, that shit is the gold. That's the real gold of this world. But the way they give it to us is in this watered down version. It looked the same. It tastes the same, but it ain't the same. And it's like a damn illusion type of thing. You think you eating real peanuts, but you're really not eating real peanuts. One of them type of things. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we really living in a fucked up world because we fucked up the world. You know what I'm saying? We fucked up the world because we're actually living in the motherfucking results of what the previous civilizations did to our natural habitat. So when they fucked up the natural order of shit, they fucked up our natural habitat, and that's why we have to live the way we do. That's why we feel like we have to eat meat. You know what I'm saying? We feel like we got to barbecue meat and shit. But no, we're not. We're not really not supposed to. But nowadays, if a motherfucker stood in front of a stadium full of people and said, y'all eating hot dogs and you ain't supposed to eat meat, you get your ass laughed at. That's how far we've come, bruh. But at the beginning of time, bro, we was so wise. Everything was so beautiful, bro. Like, I swear to God, if I had the powers to send niggas on this panel back to how shit used to be, because y'all niggas would cry if y'all came back. Just experiencing like a half a minute of that shit and coming back to this shit, you would cry. And you will always yearn to fucking experience that shit again, because you're gonna realize how different it is from this time and what the fuck was available back then. Like, you'll be surprised, bro. You ain't gonna need no video game when you can walk outside and enjoy nature and all the animals respect you and you got all this accessibility to understand the nature, bro. You ain't gonna need no damn entertainment. Nature gonna be your entertainment.
You could do that now.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, well, you know, like what I'm saying is, man, like the way they have the world, the way they
anyone on this panel, when last did you go out into nature?
Last time I went out into nature was probably I was walking my dog in the park one time. And that was probably like over the summer or some shit.
5 minutes ago.
So I'm talking like go camping, go like actual.
That's something I've never done, and the reason why is because, you know, I really don't know how to prepare myself for shit like that. But I plan on doing that real soon though, and you know, I just ain't really too hip about being in the middle of the damn. Look, I don't like snakes, bro. I don't like snakes, bro. I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. I don't like snakes, bro. Like if I ever go camping, bro, I can't be sleeping on the same ground that a snake could possibly be on.
Man, I
just can't do it.
I live in Canada, right? And I live like 20 minutes from actual bush nature. Like we go camping all the time. And when you go out into nature, let's just say it's beautiful, right? Scenery is beautiful. It's amazing. The fresh air is fresh and all that kind of stuff. But there's one thing that nobody ever thinks about nature, and that is bugs. Okay.
What?
Bugs will eat your. They got
the reason why bugs attack you is because of the fucking way you smell to the bugs. We smell fucked up to the bugs. You know why? This is why. We eating all of this meat, and believe it or not, that shit is coming through our pores, bro. So we really smell like dead. We really smell like something dying, like something decaying.
And that's why I said that we are necrovores, people who eat dead flesh.
Yeah, but that's something that we weren't designed to be, man.
No, we weren't. I think majority of this culture before before the Europeans came was mostly herbivores. We ate straight off the tree. I know that when I go back to Jamaica, I'm climbing a tree and I'm filling my belly full with like mangoes and a whole bunch of it.
Even the largest animals in the jungles eat vegetables and fruits, right?
Yeah, the largest.
What if the whole reason why we've been knocked off of our fucking square with this animal kingdom is because of the damn devil, bro? What if he has been working this whole damn time to basically bring mankind down to his knees, bro? Like, you know what? Think about this for a minute, bro.
Before you continue, a Rastaman told me this, right? Because that's how I used to think. A Rastaman told me this. It's God who's going around killing all the people, but yet the devil's being blamed for it.
Why do you think it's God killing the angels? Because the devil is not my God, bro. The devil ain't my God, bro. And the reason, and I'm not saying the devil killing nobody. I'm telling you the devil is a harvester of souls. He ain't got to kill you. All he got to do is wait for you to die and have dominion over your soul. That's what the fuck the devil do. Like,
okay, you're a Bible reader, right? In the Bible, he works for God.
Bro, he's God's son, bro.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
What do you mean? What I'm saying is this.
If I want into heaven, right, I would have to follow a certain rule, to to live a certain way and all that kind of stuff, right? Now, why wouldn't I? Why, if I was the creator, why wouldn't I want somebody out there making sure that it's like selected? You know, we don't want these people here. You know what I'm saying?
What are you talking about, Tenkara?
This is what I'm saying.
What are you talking about, B?
You're talking about the son. You're saying he's the son of God, right? That's what.
Of course he is.
Okay.
Of course he is.
He is weeding out those who would cause trouble in heaven, correct? Yes or no?
No. What he's doing is weeding out people who don't even know enough about life so that they can continue coming back here over and over again. That's what reincarnation is. Reincarnation is when reincarnation can stem from you not moving on in the afterlife, you not wanting to move on in the afterlife, or you not being able to move on in the afterlife because your ass gave your damn soul to the devil. Now he got your ass dancing in earth for the rest of your goddamn life, being born over and over again, and you can't even get out of that cycle. You don't even know you in a cycle. That's the devil. That's what the fuck hell is, bro. Hell is dying and coming back over and over again. Never motherfucking moving on. That's hell. Like, people don't look at it that way, but I do. And the reason why I look at it that way is because it makes a lot of sense, man. Now, the reason why I brought up that shit is this, man. At the beginning, you know, Satan used a serpent to talk to, supposedly. This is all speculation off of my readings in the Bible. All right, I'm going to start off by saying that because we live and shit, and I don't know who the fuck may be listening. They might take my words wrong. But look, the devil used the serpent to relay the message that planted the seed for curiosity. He didn't tell Adam, he didn't tell Eve, eat from the apple or I'm going to do this to you. He didn't force her. He coerced her by striking her curiosity. All right, so what I'm saying is this. When you think about it, we were supposed to be nothing but plant eating, you know, fruit eating beings. So it had to take some kind of coercion, aka influence of curiosity, for us to say, hey, why don't I kill this fucking animal here and fry this motherfucker and try to eat that? Why can't I do that? Like, something had to be planted as a implementation of curiosity, bro. And what I'm saying is it's still happening. Like if you really pay attention to the politics, they're making you desensitized down to the point where they can literally commit murder and you won't know whether it's real or fake. They've dulled our senses down to the point where if anything happened on TV that remotely looked fake, you would swear up and down it was fake news. You would never, you will not have the sense to understand whether or not it's fake or real because they've dumbed us down. This is very dangerous because this is basically implying that the age we live in is one of them ages where a motherfucker can run up on your ass and blindside you. You would never see it coming. And this blindsiding could literally be the end of life as we all know it. So imagine waking up one day and you looking on the news and you see motherfucking countries getting blown to shit one by one. All you can do is hope that your motherfucking country ain't next. You know it's going to happen, but you just waiting for that motherfucker to say, United States of America, you're up next. And then everybody on this bitch is dead. So my point is this, man. We looking at this world like there is no force that's causing all of these ripple effects. We looking at that shit like that, but our ancestors always told us something different. So just like we look at this flat earth shit, we need to be looking into that shit too with the same kind of motherfucking threshold. We gotta have the same threshold, man. Like, that's all I'm saying.
Oh, see, I feel like I feel you, brother, but I feel like Earth reacts off the energy of us and other things which can create phenomenons.
Man, look, have y'all seen the convex Earth picture?
Yeah. I've been seeing it. Yeah.
All right. Now, if you think about that shit for a minute, what would possess somebody to make that goddamn image if it wasn't remotely right? Not a globe. When you think about the globe, you kind of understand why they kind of lied about the globe, because it's common sense. Oh, they wanted to ball up the world and hide shit. But when you think of this convex Earth shit, it's not telling you that. It's telling you that it's hitting motherfucking land that's closer than you think. And it's on top of a motherfucking 60-something thousand mile high ice wall, nigga. This motherfucking ice wall is so goddamn high, I need an airplane. I can't even climb this bitch. You telling me, like, motherfuckers is telling me, like, oh, there is no way in hell that the fallen angel stories could be real. There's no way in hell that giants could be real. There's no way in hell dragons ever existed. But I'm telling you, they got a whole motherfucking world right next door to us that we never fucking heard about. They don't never mention this motherfucker nowhere ever in history do they mention this island, but it exists. All we got is breadcrumbs of people that have seen the island. You know what I'm saying? And experienced the shit. We can never talk to them like in a coffee shop and you know what I'm saying? But you have people like Admiral Byrd that has talked about the fucking island. You know what I'm saying? He talked about it. But then you got also other people that can't talk about it, like Amelia Earhart, motherfuckers like her. So, like, when you think about this shit, bruh, I'm not here to tell people that, you know, everything is fairy tale and shit really mean this and this shit really mean that. Like, no, I'm not here to do that, because that ain't no different than what the fuck the government did to my black ass when they tried to force me to believe that the earth was a globe because of their studies. Like fuck that. Like I believe everybody got their five senses, and based on what they five senses interpret out of this reality and everybody else's five senses, come to a conclusion. And I can guarantee your ass that if the globe theory never came out, people would still think the earth is flat today. If the globe theory never came out, that lets you know our natural motherfucking senses ain't no bullshit, bro. Like, but they wanted you to believe your natural senses was bullshit, so that when you did see some shit, you're gonna have to be like Gary. You got to see the shit twice for you to believe it.
Yeah.
So if Satan showed himself to any one of us on this panel tonight, and it scared the fucking shit out of us, literally, and we told the panel tomorrow, and we don't see that shit again, we physically inclined to just say, fuck it, I'm gonna just act like I'm gonna just chalk it to the fact that I hit too many blunts that night. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what we conditioned to do, but we don't never think that, yo, that shit really happened.
Yeah.
Things like that, bro. Like, nigga, we gotta have an open mind, bro. If we plan on even changing this world a little bit, bro. Like, we can't just have an open mind about some shit. We gotta have an open mind about all of this shit, bro. Like, they trying to, first of all, they're trying to allow you to accept gay rights for your ass cannot be able to reproduce after a certain amount of time. Certain generations gonna die off because ain't no reproducing going on. They turn your motherfucking cousins and your people all fucking bisexual and shit, which means if they did have offspring and kids, more than likely they X amount of numbers of you're more inclined to goddamn go into the system and shit, because your household is all fucked up. So your kids either you gonna go to jail or your spouse gonna go to jail and your kids gonna end up in the system. They designed this shit for a reason, Bree. They designed it like this for a reason, be like on some real shit. They designed this shit for a reason. They're trying to stop certain bloodlines, my nigga. They trying to stop certain bloodlines because at the end of the day, when they get done doing what the fuck they doing, it's only going to be one race left. One race left. And it's going to be a multi-race. This motherfucker going to be like a hybrid human. This is what they trying to do, bro. So there ain't going to be no more black people, no more white people, no more Chinese people, no more Asian people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can
see that.
Man, I'm telling you, man, they trying to end the race wars by making everybody one race. Shit. And on top of that, to do that, you got to cut some bloodlines out. So not only is they going to make one race, they're going to make everybody one bloodline. Everybody, one bloodline, one motherfucking bloodline. Ain't that some shit? That's how I feel, man. Like, I ain't gonna tell a motherfucker the devil ain't real. If I can basically catch the government in 5 lies, you ain't gonna tell me shit fake in this world, because I ain't gonna never motherfucking believe they telling my ass what the fuck is fake and what's real. I ain't gonna never let no motherfucker tell me what's fake and real, bro. When my goddamn own government lying to me like that, can't nobody tell me that. B, you feel me?
Hell yeah.
Think about it for a minute, nigga. Like they tell you, oh, it's so many people saw the Loch Ness Monster, but then they'll tell your ass, man, the Loch Ness Monster fake. You know that shit fake. They already went looking for that motherfucker, couldn't find it. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, nigga. But the Loch Ness Monster real as fuck. That shit real as fuck. Take your ass out there in that ocean long enough, and you live out there long enough, you gonna see that big motherfucker at least once in your lifetime. And when you go to explain your experience, you gonna fall in a bucket with everybody else who said they seen the shit. You know what I'm saying? And they got them wasn't believed. Ain't nobody believe their ass. That's why I really tread lightly on that believing what's real and what's fake, man. Because to be honest, I can't sit up here and tell you that our creator is limited. That's what I hate to do. I hate to say that our creator is limited, because for one thing's for certain, man. I don't see no limits. Shit. You feel me? So motherfuckers can tell your ass dragons and unicorns is fake and all that shit, nigga, till you see one. Until you see one, and then it's like, oh shit, too late now. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something I want to shed light on. Because when you look at that goddamn convex Earth picture, bruh, and you take a look at that goddamn island over there across that ice wall, it make you think, like, what the fuck is over there? Why do they really want to hide this island from us? Why? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is on this island that they hiding from us? And I think it's motherfucking Lucifer, his motherfucking self, to be honest. I think that's what the church, these motherfucking occult people, that's why the Illuminati is tied to the occult. I think that's why the governments is tied to the occult. I also think that's why these motherfuckers is goddamn doing this satanic worshiping at CERN, Switzerland. I'm telling you, man, nigga, I think these motherfuckers is literally worshiping the devil himself. They're trying to bring the devil back, not Jesus. They're trying to bring the devil back. Like when the devil get here, nigga. See, they always talked about the Antichrist coming right before God come back and all that shit in the Bible. They always say that. Shit, nigga. And think about this for a minute. If it came on the news that some crazy looking motherfucker that with horns on his head was levitating in the middle of motherfucking air, would you believe it? You gonna say, nah, that's some motherfucking Chris Angel shit. That ain't no real motherfucker. Like that's what you gonna think. Cause we Americans. And they know that shit, bro. America ain't nothing but a farm of souls, bro. We farming souls here, bro. People goddamn, we giving up our soul. We don't even know what the fuck a soul is, nigga. We so damn crazy. Hey, everybody else off the panel?
Yeah, man. I guess I'm gonna close it out. If you Quentin, you want to say something before I close it out, brother?
Oh yeah, man. Shit, I want to say what's up to y'all, man. Shit, man. Peace. You already know what it is, man. Yeah, man. Always, man. Shit, damn hell. Hey, man, y'all been going in so hard, bro. I was just sitting back listening, bro. Heck yeah, man. Shit, damn. Bro.
Hey, hell yeah, man. I heard Sanchez goddamn live. Y'all trying to jump over there?
Yeah, let's jump over there.
Shit, he got the link out there in the chat or what?
I ain't got no link yet.
I don't even know where the link at. Shit.
Trick, you want to say something before I close it out, brother?
Oh, nah, man. I mean, shit. I really just wanted to shut out with the people, man. I think it's really important for motherfuckers to keep their minds unlocked, bro, because the minute you start closing your goddamn doors in your mind, man, that's when you start the process of becoming disconnected with your society, your world you live in, and what your reality really can allot for you, man. Like, I don't see no limits in this reality. I really don't. I think eventually, once as a whole collective, as our conscious become higher, we are going to be able to do some superhuman shit. I'm not sitting here to say that us personally going to be able to experience that. I'm just saying people in general will be able to experience that. You know what I'm saying? And what they trying to do now is basically artificiate that shit. They're trying to manufacture that shit, that ability. They're trying to do genetic coding and shit to try to make these superhumans, because they already know that it's a possibility that they can exist. But the thing is, they gotta create these motherfuckers, because if it happens naturally before they make the shit, they'll automatically have no control. Because the minute you go to sleep and wake up with superpowers and they don't have a superhero to stop your ass, they already fucked up. They're already lost, and they know that. So they gotta stay ahead of the curve just to maintain control, bro. So that's why they doing all this genetic research and all this crazy ass shit. They want you to think it's all about building babies and shit, making your custom baby and all that dumb shit. No, it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. Shit. You know what I'm saying? One branch lead to the rest of the tree if it's still on that motherfucker. You feel me? So that's how I feel about it. Yeah, man, but that's all I want to say, man. Shit, you know, that's about it.
Hey, that's real talk, bro. And hey, I'm just gonna add up to that and say, man, the savior you waiting on is you. You know what I'm saying? As far back as you want to go into it. Hey, if you want to go into the Bible, hey, every person in the Bible that went looking for God found themselves. So it is what it is, man. The savior you waiting for is you. It all started with you. Like Trigger was saying, man. It's all about your mindset, though.
No doubt.
You holding you back. Real talk.
All right, guys, audience. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. And if you ain't see the whole video, go ahead and start from the beginning. And this is Lindsay, and thank you for watching Saturday Night Open Panel Live. Peace.